Sports Channel presents Phillies baseball. Tonight, the Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Good evening, everyone. We've had a lot of rain in the area, but it looks okay right now. We're going to start this ball game on time. I'm Andy Musser, happy to be back with Kent DeCalvey this evening, and all the explosions in the Phillies lineup last night, Teak, maybe overlooked a little bit of the contributions that Wes Chamberlain's making these days.
Well, you know, when your ball club's going good and you're really producing runs, it's usually your platoon players that are really kicking in for you. You know, your regular everyday players are going to be doing their job, but Wes in his platoon role, he's on one of those roles right now. He had a couple hits last night, scored a run, was a main contributor in that ball game, and when those types of players are giving you a little extra, then you're getting something done offensively.
On the mound for the Phillies tonight will be Curt Schilling. I know one thing, Schilling would much rather face the Braves here in Atlanta than he would in Philadelphia.
Well, he's got good numbers in this stadium, 2-0, a lifetime average, 285 earned run average in this ballpark. And a lot of times, you know, pitchers will have ballparks that they like to pitch in for certain reasons. You know, sometimes it's, you know, Candlestick Park, for example, a lot of pitchers like the wind currents out there. It makes the ball move. I think in Atlanta Stadium, what it is for Schilling is the fact that it's a ballpark that has a reputation of the ball carrying. The hitters go to the plate trying to pull the ball, trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. With his power and his control, he's able to counteract that, and that's why I believe he is successful here.
We knew coming into this series how important it was for both the Phillies and the Braves, but after the Phillies take game one, the heat is really on Atlanta. The Giants just aren't letting up.
Well, the Braves have been red hot since the All-Star break, 14-5. But they've only gained a half a game on the Giants, and you know it has to be frustrating for the ball club. They've gone out, they've added Fred McGriff, they've buffed up the lineup. I think he's helped them in the fact that he's taken some of the focus and put it on the offense. The offense hasn't done very well this year. With Fred in town, they're starting to talk about the offense. The rest of the players seem to be feeding off of it, but the club's not gaining any ground. They're just still mired, and you know it's getting to the point now when you're getting into August, you're still 8.5 games back. That's a lot of ground to catch up on a red-hot San Francisco ball club.
We'll be back here in Atlanta, and we'll be talking with Pete Incaviglia right after this.
Are you saying that I killed my wife?
I didn't kill my wife! Put that gun down! Turn around!
On August 6th, the chase begins. Harrison Ford is The Fugitive, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, August 6th at a theater near you.
When you work one job, grab a quick lunch, a quicker dinner, and move on to job number 2, how you gonna spell relief? That's a big relief you can feel, because Rolaids absorbs 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid to stop heartburn fast. So for millions, there's only one way to spell 100% relief. Rolaids spells 100% relief.
Phillies baseball on Sports Channel is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By your local Sherwin-Williams paint stores, the pros know, ask Sherwin-Williams, a participating sponsor of Major League Baseball. By Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies. By Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages, no other book can match it, a Bell Atlantic company. By Texaco, save up to $5 by joining Texaco's Frequent Fueler Club. Visit your local participating Texaco location for all the details. Texaco, star of the American road. By Coca-Cola, Phillies baseball and Coca-Cola. Always a hit, always Coca-Cola. By Cento Fine Italian Foods, the company that says trust your family with our family. And by Independence Blue Cross, personal choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people. And we're back here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. There is rain in the area. The Phillies and the Braves hoping to be able to play this one tonight. We understood when Pete Incaviglia joined the Phillies that he was the ultimate streak hitter. We have come to see that. He's had a couple of hot streaks this year. He's had one cold streak. So I gather from your reputation, what we're seeing right now is not anything all that unusual.
Oh, yeah, I think, you know, guys that hit home runs are very streaky people. You know, say home runs come in bunches. And, you know, all you can do is just try and go out there and battle every day when, you know, you're hot and you're swinging the bat good. You know, things are great, but you also got to battle through the low side. You know, I mean, you play 162 games, there's going to be some peaks and valleys, and it's just a matter of going out and not worrying about when things aren't going good. When when you're not swinging the bat good, try to do something to help the ball club defensively, or try and hit a ball the other way, try to move guys over. So it's just a matter of just going out and playing hard for 162 games.
Are you able to keep up a good frame of mind when things aren't going well?
Well, yeah. I mean, when you play 162 games, you're going to fail. I mean, you're going to fail 7 out of 10 times in this game. You're going to be a good hitter. You'll hit 300. So you got to learn to deal with failure, and you got to keep battling and believe in yourself. And I have a lot of confidence in my ability and myself.
Last night, your 3-run home run, which set the pace for the ball game, was hit to the opposite field. Do you try to hit the ball that way?
Well, in that situation, first and second, nobody out. My first concern is to move Davey and Dutch over to try and hit the ball hard the other way. Try and hit a base hit the other way, or try and hit a deep fly ball the other way and get Davey to third base. And he just left one out over the plate where I hit it pretty well. I'm sure if he had to do it again, he probably wouldn't throw it in the same place.
We saw the long of it. We also saw the short of it last night. We've seen quite a few Incaviglia home runs. We haven't seen that many infield hits.
Well, I guess that's when they say they even out. I guess maybe that was one of them line drives that they caught earlier in the season. They even out, take them any way you can.
And then there was another play where maybe Pete Incaviglia saved the Phillies season because he did not run into Lenny Dykstra in the outfield.
Yeah, that was a scary moment. The last minute I saw Lenny coming, and that's a guy that we need in the lineup every day. We can't afford to lose him, so I was trying to catch him and dodge him at the same time. It didn't work out very well.
Pete, thanks so much. Good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
Hoping to get this ball game in. Rain in the area. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineups in just a moment.
Any professional painter will tell you that if you want results like these, you gotta know the tricks of the trade. You gotta ask Sherwin-Williams. Now, these are guys you can trust. They've got good paint, good price, good advice. Guaranteed. Want to know something? I didn't paint this house. The guy that lives there did. Hey, fella, nice job. This guy knows what the pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Bert sells balloons. Bob sells balloons. Bert sells wacky gifts. Bob sells wacky gifts. Bert delivers. Bob delivers. So if Bob's got everything Bert's got, why Bert busy and Bob not? Now, do you suppose Bert's got a big color ad in the book 9 out of 10 people use? The genuine Bella Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic Company.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You know he's not perfect, but on certain days in his life, he has been. The night he poured in 63 points. The time he crushed 3 home runs in the World Series. The day he found Dwight Clark in the end zone. And you wish at some point, at some moment in your life, you could be that perfect too. And that's why you cheer for him. That's why you believe in heroes.
Why will some people only use Texaco System 3 gasolines?
I'll tell you the first reason.
My dad says System 3 cleaned out his intake cleanings and his fuel inspectors.
Second reason. Our dads keep saying get good grades. So we come here. The reasons I come here.
Every grade of Texaco System 3 performs in cars both new and old.
They do? Well, no wonder we're getting the horsepower we should be getting.
Count on System 3 for performance in your car.
Reasons, where do I start?
And we're back here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. It looks as though the rain has pretty well cleared out of the area, at least for now. As you check the radar, there is still a prospect of further rain this evening, but we have another sellout on hand here this evening, and the umpires have just received the lineups. They are Harry Wendelstadt, Randy Marsh, Wally Bell, and Larry Vanover working the plate tonight with Wendelstadt at the dish. There's Pat Corrales, former Phillies skipper, and he did hand out the lineup with Jim Fregosi. They always have a nice meeting at home plate. He and Jim are real good pals. And now let's check the Sherwin-Williams starting lineup for the Phillies. Lenny Dykstra leads off and plays in center field. Mariano Duncan bats second. He's the second baseman. Batting third, first baseman John Kruk. Batting cleanup, the third baseman Dave Hollins. Batting fifth and catching Darren Dalton. Batting sixth, the left fielder Pete Incaviglia. Batting seventh, the right fielder Wes Chamberlain. Batting 8th, Phillies shortstop Kevin Stocker. And batting 9th, Phillies right-hander Curt Schilling.
Bobby Cox's Atlanta Braves line up this way defensively this evening. The newest member of the Braves, the crime dog, Fred McGriff at first base. Mark Lemke plays second. Jeff Blauser is the shortstop, and over at third base is Terry Pendleton. Around the outfield left to right, it's Ron Gant, Deion Sanders, and David Justice. Damon Burial has received a catching assignment tonight. And on the mound for the Braves this evening, 6'1", 190-pound left-hander Tom Glavine. Glavine is a 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, curveball, slider, and change. Against right-handed hitters, he will basically show you the fastball and the changeup, most of them away. He'll use the curveball and slider more against the left-handers than against the right-handers. Probably will not see quite as many changes against the Philly left-handed hitters. Like Steve Avery, who pitched last night, Glavine likes to work the right-handers and keep the ball on the outside part of the plate. I think one of the things we have to watch for tonight, as you mentioned earlier, Harry Wendelstadt's behind the plate. He has the reputation of being a pitcher's umpire, which means he calls a little bit wider plate than most of the umpires in the league, and sometimes the strike zone's a little taller. So we'll watch early to see how much Glavine is getting of that outside part of the plate. And if he's out there and able to establish the outside part and Wendelstadt's calling that pitch, Philly hitters are going to have to adjust. You can do one of two things. You can complain about it, or you can adjust and go ahead and try to hit it, and that's what you have to do. You have to make the adjustment.
There's Harry Wendelstadt. He will be calling the balls and strikes tonight. And Tommy Glavine is coming off a ball game where he was really outstanding. He beat Houston on Friday. A 4-1 final there. Tommy went 8 innings, surrendering only 5 hits and 1 run. I was interested, though, Teak, in his walk-strikeout ratio. It is not good. In fact, it's level, 66 of each. That's unusual.
It is very unusual for Tom Glavine. When you look at him through his career, he's usually maybe 3 strikeouts to every 2 walks. He's usually got a much better average than that. But this year, his strikeouts and walks have evened out. The Phillies have been notorious for taking the walk and taking advantage of the free pass, so therefore be interesting to see tonight if they can work Glavine, and like I said, with Wendelstadt behind the plate, how this all works out.
And we're set to go. Lenny Dykstra to lead it off. Lenny's been getting his hits. He has not been scoring a lot, though. He has only 1 run scored in the last 5 ball games. It's 72 degrees here at game time and a 50% chance of further rain. And not much of a wind here at the ballpark tonight. Lenny swings at the first pitch, just foul first base side. Dykstra 305, a dozen home runs, 35 runs batted in, leading the league with 97 runs scored. But the offense has been generated a little further down the lineup the last couple of games. Glavine gets it in for a strike. 0-2 on Lenny. But batting out of an 0-2 count does not bother him. We see him do it all the time, and so many times he's even able to work it back to 3-2.
Very patient at the plate and has that knack to just foul off good pitches with 2 strikes on him.
Takes ball 1. He is tied with Pittsburgh's Jay Bell for the most hits in the league. He and Jay each have 129. The ultimate table setter and a .348 lifetime batting average off Glavine. Loops it down the left field line, but it's going to go foul near the Phillies bullpen. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Dykstra leading it off. As a team, the Phillies lead the National League in runs, 579 runs. So we've got the classic battle here tonight of offense defense, in the sense that the Braves lead the National League in earned run average 3.18, but the Phillies lead the league in getting runs. Well, we'll see. Just missed. Good eye to take a pitch like that. 2-2.
We're talking about Lenny being able to work the count and get back into a count when he's in an 0-2 hole. It's just pitches like that. The pitch before, a good pitch by Glavine, is able to foul it off, keep himself alive. Now this pitch just misses. He takes it and gets the count even.
He doesn't very often help a pitcher. That's a foul ball. McGriff over to play it, but he gloves it in foul territory. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Lenny, with Duncan and Kruk to follow this inning. Phillies against the Braves this year have won 4 of the 7 games. In this ballpark, they've split 4 games. Braves still have one more trip to make into Veterans Stadium before the season is over. Braves will visit Veterans Stadium starting September 24th for a weekend series. Glavine strikes him out on an off-speed pitch.
So after battling back to a 2-2 count, Glavine again comes up with the curveball against Lenny, down and away in a good location. Lenny tries to fight it off, just not able to get a piece of it.
So Glavine starts his evening's activities with a strikeout and now faces Duncan, batting at .272. Mariano has really picked up the pace, and with all these left-handers going, we haven't seen Mickey Morandini here lately. Strike. Glavine with a fastball on the outside corner. Glavine was a 4th-round draft choice of the Los Angeles Kings in hockey back in 1984. He was Atlanta's 2nd-round choice as a pitcher. That's foul out of play. And of course, Glavine, a Cy Young Award winner in 1991. Tommy was 20-11 in '91 to win that prestigious award.
Didn't have a bad year last year either. Came in 2nd in the Cy Young balloting. So very consistent pitcher for the Atlanta Braves over the last couple of years.
Pushes him back. 1-2 on Mariano. Duncan is 0 for 3 off Glavine and 194 lifetime. That's 7 hits, 36 at bats. Glavine helps himself in a lot of ways. He's a very good fielder, and he is good at handling the bat too. Not a bad hitter, just a good athlete.
Well, Leo Mazzoni has got a whole bunch of good athletes on that pitching staff of his, and I'll tell you what, pitching coaches just enjoy the heck out of being able to send guys out there day after day that can make pitches and help themselves out in their entire ball game.
Impressive start by Glavine. He gets his 2nd strikeout. Different pitch this time.
Yeah, we'd seen the changeup down and away. Here he comes with the fastball up in the strike zone. Duncan just out in front of it a little bit. So 2 Philly hitters up, and Glavine sent them both back to the bench via the strikeout.
Now he squares off with John Kruk. John at .350, 9 homers, 57 RBIs, and Kruk the league leader in walks with 85. The league leader with an on-base percentage of .477. He looks at a ball low. Kruk trying to get comfortable. John just back to work after having a hip injury that kept him out of that Pirate series over the weekend, except for pinch hitting. Last night in his return, John went 1 for 4. It's a rare ball game when Kruk doesn't chip in with at least 1 hit. Hard hit ball, but right to Lemke. Lemke put the knee down, stopped it, and makes the play. So the Phillies go 1-2-3 at the hands of Tommy Glavine, and it's Phillies nothing. Atlanta coming up.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
I remember last year, honey, when we were moving.
Right.
Well, she called us and said if we put both our new house and car policies with her, we would save money.
Well, we have so many choices at Nationwide, and my job is to make you aware of your options.
She's always there with an answer.
That's the way we're trained, to be very knowledgeable and to be there when people really need you the most. And that's important.
Agents like Margaret are Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side.
Here's the Sherwin-Williams starting lineup for the Atlanta Braves. Leading off and playing in center, Deion Sanders. Batting second, shortstop Jeff Blauser. Hitting third in left field, Ron Gant. The cleanup hitter and first baseman is Fred McGriff. Batting fifth in right field, David Justice. Batting sixth, third baseman Terry Pendleton. Batting seventh, the catcher Damon Berryhill. Batting eighth, playing at second base, Mark Lemke. And batting ninth, Braves pitcher Tommy Glavine.
Defensively for the Phillies this evening, John Kruk at first base. Mariano Duncan is at second. Kevin Stocker at shortstop, and Dave Hollins at third. Pete Incaviglia is in left field this evening with Lenny Dykstra in center, Wes Chamberlain in right. Darren Dalton behind the plate, and on the mound, 26-year-old right-hander Kurt Schilling. In his last start, Kurt had a no decision in the Phillies' 6-4 win over the Cardinals this past Thursday at Veterans Stadium. In that ball game, pitched 6 2/3 innings, gave up only 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, walked 2, and struck out 7. And since the All-Star break, which was really almost a low point for Kurt, he was really struggling up to that point. He has come back since the All-Star break and put together 3 straight strong outings, and it looks like he's back on track again.
Leading off for Atlanta, Neon Deion Sanders, batting at .274. He and Nixon platooning in center field. Sanders faces the right-handers, and Nixon faces the left-handers. Pitch in for a strike. Sanders 1 for 2, facing Schill this year, and 3 for 6 in his career. Sanders signed a fat new contract with the Braves, which keeps him here until the baseball season ends. Then he can play football if he cares to. Dykstra makes the catch, and Sanders is out, 1 down. And now a player who has really come into his own this year, Jeff Blauser. He made the National League All-Star team, and it was deserved. He's hitting at .301. Slumping just a bit here in the last week or so. He's 3 for his last 21. Blauser takes ball 1. Blauser has always been a guy that has been very difficult for the Phillies. He had a career high 6 RBIs against the Phillies in a game in June of '91. Duncan makes the play. Blauser is out, and 2 up and 2 down. Ron Gant. Ron carries an 11-game hitting streak. He's batting .269 for the year, .320 during the streak. Gant's average bottomed out at .195, and he's gotten it up now to .269, so that's a pretty good hike for this time of the year.
Well, the Braves as a bunch early in the season were all struggling offensively, and I think a lot of that was there was so much talk in the offseason about their pitching staff and all this power pitching that they had, and almost got the impression if you scored 1 or 2 runs you were going to win. And the offense struggled early, and really I think as I was mentioning earlier, Fred McGriff coming here and finally putting some focus on the offense has woke the rest of these players up, and all of a sudden they think, hey, you know, we got to contribute to this ball club.
And Jim Fregosi last night was making the point that McGriff not only brings his numbers and his presence to the lineup, but he takes the pressure off the rest of them.
Sure, because you know, you can look at McGriff, and he's the man that you're going to look to get the big hit, the big home run.
And he can handle that.
So the rest of the guys can just be contributors and do their part of the job. And it's a lot easier to do that part of the job than to be the guy that you're leaned on time after time.
There's the odd man out, Sid Bream. Naturally, he's not too happy about it. Sid celebrated a birthday here yesterday. That wasn't Sid, I'm sorry.
That was
John Smoltz. Sid, by the way, celebrated his 33rd birthday. There's Sid. And
we had the wrong post. He's leaning up against the next post.
He's sitting with Otis Nixon there.
Otis, the odd man out tonight.
Low, ball 4, and the Braves get a base runner as Gant draws a walk. Schilling's walk strikeout ratio is pretty good. That's 38 walks, 104 strikeouts. Big hand for the new hero here, Fred McGriff. You know, they always called him Crime Dog, but the first night he arrived here was when they had the press box fire, so now they call him Fire Dog. Fire Dog McGriff.
Well, he got things heated up around Atlanta in a hurry.
He's been a tremendous help to the Braves. He's batting almost .400 since arriving here. McGriff is hitting .396 in a Braves uniform with 7 home runs since his arrival, and tonight is only his 16th game in an Atlanta uniform. Phillies were fortunate not to have to face him in that series in San Diego. He was out with a back muscle injury. There's a strike. 1-1 on McGriff. By the way, we were showing you John Smoltz. It is because of John Smoltz wearing number 29 that the Fire Dog has switched to 27 here. Lonnie Smith wore that number here for Atlanta last year. A little topper. John Kruk makes the play, and the Braves are retired. Atlanta, no runs, no hits, and one left at the end of one, 0-0.
If you want your car done right, it has to be done by the right people.
We take care of our customers. We do the job right.
Quality all the way.
Experience counts.
The customer comes first.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
We're only as good as our people. That's why Jiffy Lube is America's favorite oil change.
We got experience at Jiffy Lube.
Just last year, John Pasmato scaled the rocky slopes of Kilimanjaro, trekked through the murky waters of the Amazon, and captained a tall ship through the treacherous Strait of Magellan.
Mellon PSFS employees are giving their time to help people embark on some of the greatest adventures of their lives.
All it took was learning to read.
There are lots of ways to have fun at a baseball game besides the game. Now, the games. The Phillies give Colorado a Rocky Mountain Low Monday, August 23rd and Tuesday the 24th at 7:35 and Wednesday the 25th at 12:35 in a business person special. Then Cincinnati turns red Friday, August 27th at 7:35, Saturday the 28th at 7:05, and Sunday the 29th at 1:35 when kids get a baseball jacket free. Call 463-1000.
When the Phillies get back from this road trip to Atlanta and Florida, they'll be playing the Montreal Expos and the New York Mets. It begins next Tuesday, the 10th at 7:35, as the Expos come in for 3, which also includes a business person special Thursday, the 12th at 12:35. Mets for the weekend, 7:35 on Friday the 13th, 7:05 on the 14th, and Road Jersey Day, Sunday the 15th at 1:35. Call 463-1000 for your tickets. We go to the second inning of our scoreless game. Dave Hollins leads off for the Phillies, batting .275. A dozen home runs, 62 runs batted in. Hollins, Dalton, and Incaviglia to test out Tommy Glavine here in the second inning. Glavine starts him with a curveball away. Dave Hollins hit a home run here last night, his 12th, to give the Phillies a little 8th inning insurance.
And that ball was a rocket. That got out of here in a hurry.
That misses. Hollins in his career 4 for 12 off Glavine, no home runs.
I was talking to David after the ball game last night. I said, how did that one feel? He said, that felt great. He said, that's one of those ones when you hit it, you don't feel anything. The ball just jumps and flies. And it was just a line drive, line home run into the left field stands here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium.
Isn't that true, though, that the more you hit the ball in the sweet part of the bat, the less you do feel it?
They say that when you hit them real good, I don't know because I never hit one like that.
This is hearsay now.
You can feel the bat bend when it's hitting the ball.
And there, right through the left side hole. Pendleton and Blauser right between him, and Hollins has the Phillies' first hit of the ball game. Cento Italian Food Products rooting for the Phillies this season. For every Phillies home run, Cento donates $200 to the Philadelphia Child Guidance Clinic. You can find Cento products in any supermarket. In steps Darren Dalton, having an outstanding year at .252. Second in the league with his 78 RBIs, 10th with 18 home runs. Braves infield looks for a double play. The Braves were kept the Phillies out of scoring more last night by turning 3 double plays. They turned 1 double play on a bunt.
Well, Braves made a whole ton of outstanding defensive plays last night that, as you said, kept them in the ball game. But what happened was, through the course of the game, there was one mistake. Jeff Blauser took a relay at second base on a ball and threw wildly to first base, allowing Wes Chamberlain to score a run. And that one mistake, out of all those good plays, the one mistake was the one that everybody's going to remember and the one that really cost him in last night's ball game.
No swing. Larry Vanover, last night's plate umpire, making that ruling from third base. 2 balls and no strikes for Darren Dalton, who receives a whole lot of bases on balls, as you know. Dalton right up among the league leaders in walks. pop up, and there's a lot of foul room here, but not enough for that one. Dalton has walked 83 times. Got to loosen up those sunflower seeds, don't you?
Got to warm them up, get the salts messed around in the bag there. You got to do all this before you actually open the bag, because when you do that after it's open, there's just dust flies out of that bag. Real messy in the dugout. Now the shells from the seeds will eventually become a mess in the dugout, but you don't want that powdery stuff.
No. Dalton takes a strike. So it's 2-2 on Darren. Dalton in his career 371 off Glavine. That's a good average. 333 obviously off any pitcher, and very good when you're a left-hander facing a left-hander. Full count. Now to start Hollins or not. What do you think?
Well, the decision is, do you think Dutch can get the bat on the ball? Normally when Darren hits the ball, he hits it in the air, so you're not going to have too many ground ball double plays. What you worry about is the strikeout throwout. So Jim Fergosi's first decision of the evening, does he think Dutch is going to get his bat on the ball? If he's got Hollins moving and he can get one in the gap, you can pick up a quick run.
There he goes, and he got a good jump, but it's fouled back. Hollins timed it perfectly and did get a fast start. He's already past second base.
Braves defensively in the outfield playing Dalton around to pull. A big gap out in left center field between Sanders and Gant. With Glavine throwing those breaking balls away, there's a good chance. We know that Dutch has the ability to hit the ball the other way. Could find one of those slots out there, and with Hollins moving, a chance to score from first base.
High fly foul ball. He pulled that one. Darren says that he's hitting the ball best when he does hit it hard to the gap in left center.
Well, that means that he's staying in on the ball. He's staying and seeing the ball all the way to the bat. When he starts to pull the ball a lot, the front shoulder opens up, and you don't have the extension and the power to hit the ball hard the opposite way. You can still hit some flares that way, but you can't drive the ball. So when he's staying in there, seeing the ball all the way to the bat, that's when he hits the ball hard the opposite way.
Hollins another good jump. Ball 4. Phillies have their first 2 men on board for Pete Incaviglia. This was the situation last night when Incaviglia came up in the second inning. Hollins had singled, Dalton had walked.
Interesting, when you were talking to Inky before the ball game, to hear a guy like Incaviglia say that he was trying to hit the ball to the right side to move the runners.
Well,
he got the job done.
He did, and he's in the same situation here, so let's see how it comes out tonight. Roll the tape. 2 on, nobody out. 17 homers for Incaviglia, 63 runs batted in. High and away, ball 1 to Incaviglia. He has a 5-game hitting streak now. He's batted .470 during the streak. Low lays off at 2-0. Incaviglia has 3 hits and 11 at bats facing Glavine. Got to be aggressive, but you can't be so aggressive you swing at bad pitches. Usually when guys go into slump, they do wind up swinging at a lot of bad pitches.
Helping the pitcher out.
Yep. That's hitting behind the runner. That's what he was trying to do, was hit the ball to right field. 2-1 on Incaviglia. Pickoff play at second. Alert to it is Hollins. Still no outs here in the second inning. We have happy 50th anniversary greetings tonight to Donald and Colleen Carroll of Norristown celebrating tonight. High fly ball should be caught in left center. Gant makes the call. So in this case, Incaviglia was unable to hit the ball behind the runners, so they stay where they are, and that's the first out. Wes Chamberlain, he's been on a tear, as we mentioned in the opening. And Wes has his average up to 282, and it's a productive 282 as well, with 9 homers, 28 RBIs. Pretty good numbers, considering the at-bats that he has had. Chamberlain has had only 195 at-bats. Compare that with Dykstra's 424 at-bats. Two on, one out. Scoreless game in the second. We had rain here in Atlanta a good part of the day today. In for a strike. Chamberlain just 1 for 9 in his career facing Glavine. All 3 games in this Phillies-Atlanta series are sellouts. Last night we had over 49,000 people here. Foul out of play, or is it out of play? Yes, it is. Ferry Hill started to come back. We mentioned earlier there is considerable foul ground here. And a lot of those foul pops are caught, especially over toward the dugouts on either side where the park really bows out.
Well, a lot of room, and with the Braves pitching staff, any pitcher loves to have a lot of room in foul territory. There's nothing worse than getting somebody to pop the ball up in foul territory and have it just barely get into the stands. Well, in this ballpark, plenty of room for the first baseman and third baseman both to go well into foul territory to catch those pop-ups. We saw one of those plays in the last inning last night. Kim Baptiste went all the way over to the Phillies dugout and caught a pop-up
right over the railing. Chamberlain reached for a pitch, tops it to short. Play at first for the out. Runners move along, but there are now 2 outs. Ball was just topped, and so the Phillies now have runners at second and third with 2 away.
Wes out in front of this pitch by Glavine. Lunges, tops the ball. Fortunately for the Phillies, didn't hit it on the button. Had it been hit on the button, Blauser would have easily been able to turn 2, but because he had to charge the ball so hard, only able to get the 1 out at first base. So Hollins and Dalton each move up 90 feet.
A little respect for Stocker here and the numbers he's been posting lately. He will get the intentional pass, and they'll pitch to Kurt Schilling.
Well, when you're hitting 400, you should get some respect.
Well, I guess, but we are in the second inning, unless my score sheet is incorrect. There's Bobby Cox. He was tossed out last night. Bobby was very unhappy with the umpiring, and you know what? He had a couple of good points.
Much to Bobby's credit, after the game, Larry Vanover, the object of Bobby's displeasure last night. After the game, though, Bobby would not comment on it. All he wanted to do was talk about the ballgame.
That's the way to do it. All right, they are loaded with Phillies. A single and 2 walks have them loaded for Kurt Schilling, who is not a great hitter, but by the same token, he's not an automatic out either. Kurt 7 hits and a 156 batting average.
And what that intentional walk indicates is Bobby Cox feels that the Braves are going to have a little problem scoring off of Schilling tonight. Don't want to take a chance of giving up a run early, so we'll pass Stocker and take a shot at the weaker hitting Schilling.
Back through the middle, hits off the mound, but Blauser plays it over to Lemke for a fielder's choice and a force out to win the inning. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit. Phillies leave them loaded. Go to the bottom of the second. 0-0.
It's a really good-looking Phillies road jersey, free for kids 14 and under, compliments of Gatorade, when the Phillies play the Mets Sunday, August 15th at 1:35. Get a free new jersey when the Phillies play New York. Call 463-1000.
Quality Plus Ford dealers are #1 with the most versatile lineup of family wagons. Going on a picnic, to the store, or across country, there's a Ford wagon for every need. Now save up to $2,900 on a Ford Aerostar. Hurry, save thousands on every wagon in stock. Only at your #1 selling Quality Plus Ford dealer.
5 of the top 10 sellers, all American built quality. See your Ford dealer today. Get behind the wheel and turn the key.
When good just isn't good enough.
Well, looks like you got a new pride and joy.
Well, it's not exactly new, but it's new to me.
And I see you're putting in super premium.
You bet. I saved every dollar I made for 2 years to buy this, so I'm giving it nothing but the best.
Nice car.
See what I mean?
So when good just isn't good enough for you, experience our best. Fly with the new Superpower Citgo.
The fourth of 5 midday midweek baseball games coming up. A great way to spend an afternoon away from work and in the sunshine. Phillies and the Expos at Veterans Stadium Thursday, August 12th at 12:35. Today comes your way compliments of Mellon PSFS. Make your plans by calling 463-1000. Phillies tickets also available at the Center City ticket location at Mellon PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets in Philadelphia. Here in Atlanta, Phillies and the Braves are scoreless. We figure to have a pitcher's duel today. Tommy Glavine comes in with one of the best ERAs in the league, 2.81. He's 6th. Schilling's earned run average is over 4 now, but that's as a result of that bad streak he had there for a while. Right before he went into that streak, he also was in the top 10 in earned run average. Braves batting in the second. They start with David Justice. He's been on a tear. 457 over the last 13 games for Justice. Braves have 3 hitters in a row, each of whom has 25 home runs. Gant, McGriff, and Justice. Justice, Pendleton, and Berryhill here in the second. Justice 3 for 11 off Schilling lifetime, including 1 long ball. Little low, 2-0. Schilling his 23rd start tonight. 2-1. Teak was talking about how much better he has pitched since the All-Star break, and that is true. Unfortunately, it's not reflected in his 1-loss record. His last 8 starts, he's 1-5 with 2 no decisions, and a strike called. It's 2-2 on Justice.
In those last 3 ball games, just 1-0, but again, pitched outstanding ball in all 3 of those starts. Phillies just not able to score runs when he was in there.
Struck him out. Schilling picks up his first strikeout of the game, and he gets a hot hitter in David Justice.
After throwing Justice a couple fastballs, Schill comes back with the curveball down in the strike zone. Not only the location, but the fact that his off speed wrecks Justice timing out in front. You can see how his front shoulder was all pulled out of there, way out in front of that pitch, not able to make contact.
And now Terry Pendleton, the heart and soul of the Braves. It was when he joined Atlanta that they became a good team a couple of years ago. Signed him as a free agent, and the Cardinals did not make any attempt to re-sign him. Foul ball, strike 1. Pendleton batting .423 against the Phillies with 11 hits, more than any other member of the Braves. McGriff also has 11 hits against the Phillies, but quite a few of them came in a San Diego uniform. Strike. 0-2 on Pendleton.
It's interesting, yesterday I was talking to Bobby Cox about their offense, and he mentioned Terry Pendleton and the fact that he had tailed off this year, and that was one of the reasons why their offense was struggling. He said, you know, the last 2 years Pendleton has delivered big hit after big hit. She strikes out there swinging, but he says, you know, every time we got into a clutch situation, Pendleton seemed to come to the plate, and he always got the base hit. He says the big difference is now he's just not getting those hits this year, and because of that, the Atlanta offense has faltered.
Bases empty, 2 outs, and Berryhill hitting at .247, 5 homers, 23 RBIs. The Phillies have done a good job with him this year. He's just 1 for 13 off Phil's pitching. Berryhill 0 for 4 off Schilling this year, 1 for 8 lifetime. Out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Schilling's been in charge so far. He's not given up a hit.
Ooh, good pitch right there.
Close. Foul back, and it's 2-2 on Berryhill. You know, here's a catcher who had rotator cuff surgery, and he's come back to throw pretty well. He nailed quite a few runners this year trying to steal.
Yeah, one of the reasons why the Cubs let him go was they were not sure that he was going to be able to recover from that. He was their everyday catcher before the injury. They just weren't sure he was going to be able to be on that basis, and moved him on to the Atlanta Braves.
Called out on strikes. Curt Schilling strikes out the side. After 2 innings, it's 0-0.
Come on, let's get a cold one.
Our total attendance for today's game.
Would you look at this beer line? I'm gonna go back.
What? Foul ball? No, I'm not.
Foul ball!
Foul ball? Foul ball? Out of the way!
I got it!
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
Make it 2 Bud Lights, please.
make it a Bud Light.
Hey, you got another ball?
When you work one job, grab a quick lunch, a quicker dinner, and move on to job number 2, how you gonna spell relief? That's a big relief you can feel, because Rolaids absorbs 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid to stop heartburn fast. So for millions, there's only one way to spell 100% relief. Rolaids spells 100% relief.
Did you know Texaco puts System 3 in every grade of gasoline?
System 3 gets high marks in every grade, which is a lot better than I ever did.
My dad says Texaco puts System 3 in every grade. I'm in the 4th grade.
Of course. That's why I always fill up with System 3. What do I look like? Don't say it.
Visit your Texaco station.
I can get the tires rotated, the car lubed, and still get home in time for the game.
Mow the lawn.
For unbeatable System 3 gasolines and so much more.
Mow the lawn.
Mow the lawn.
It's the last business person special of the year. Wednesday, August 25th at 12:35. The Phillies play the Rockies, and all fans get a handsome poster featuring all the Phillies pitchers' compliments of Mellon PSFS. Call 463-1000 now.
More Phillies telecasts coming up this week. Tomorrow night on PHL 17 from here in Atlanta in 7:30, the final game of the series. And then the Phillies move on to Florida, playing the Marlins on Friday night. That'll be on PHL 17 at 7:30. And again on Saturday, a half hour earlier at 7 o'clock. Hope you can join us. Pitchers in charge so far in this one. Scoreless ball game. Lenny Dykstra to lead it off in the 3rd inning, and Glavine took care of him with a strikeout first time up. Schilling has just struck out the side, though, so he's 1 ahead of Glavine.
Well, I mentioned Glavine's strikeout walks numbers being even coming into the game so far tonight. Same way, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks.
I think he's trying to be
although one of them, I guess we should give to Bobby Cox, the intentional walk.
Well,
so
that's true, but
1 Glavine, 1 Cox, and 2 strikeouts for Glavine.
do you think he's trying to be a little too fine this year? I think his walks are up more than his strikeouts are down.
Well, I think what's happening is after the last couple of years, especially we mentioned the right-handed hitters and liking to pitch them away, especially with that changeup. The right-handed hitters have learned to be more patient and lay off that pitch instead of trying to hit it. They're more disciplined now, and I think he's probably making the same pitches, but the hitters are being more patient and not trying to drive the ball off of him or pull it and pulling off of it, and striking out, but they're staying with the ball and making sure that he gets it in the strike zone.
3-0 for Lenny. That catches the corner. 3-1, says Wendelstedt. Last time it was 0-2 on Lenny, and he never really got out of it. But now he's got a 3-1 pitch coming. Ball 4. Dykstra aboard. His on-base percentage is .422, tops among leadoff men. So now Glavine has walked 3 while striking out 2. Duncan looking down and checking with Larry Boa before getting in. Dunk also a strikeout victim first inning. Dykstra among the stolen base leaders, 26 steals, 7th in the league. What do we know about Glavine's move to first?
Glavine's got an average move to first base. What he does well is he gets rid of the ball quickly to home plate. Left-handers have an advantage, obviously, facing the runner at first base, but Glavine does not have a whole lot of excess movement in his delivery and gets rid of the ball fairly well to home plate.
Checking Lenny back.
You can see that he kind of pulls that leg up and hangs it for a second, but once he starts moving, it's quick. Doesn't have a whole lot of excess movement as far as delivering the ball to Berryhill.
Duncan just a piece of it. Naturally, that Braves infield is seeking a double play right here. The Braves have a good defensive team. Teak, I think we ought to talk a little about this field too, because even though it's grass and dirt here, this is really a fast grass field. It's almost like a grass AstroTurf field.
Well, very much of a change. The old turf that they had here a couple years ago was very slow, very thick, and very rough. 2 years ago, they brought in a new ground screw guy. He came in and put a whole new turf field in here, and it, as you say, it is now very quick.
Uh-oh, look out. There's one, and that's what we're talking about. Braves get 2, and the base is empty with 2 outs.
Well, as we mentioned, the infield's quick. When you hit a ground ball sharply, it's going to get to the infielders, in this case Blauser, in a hurry. Once Jeff gets the ball over to Lemke, he's able to get it there so quickly that Dykstra has no chance to break it up, and then Duncan's easily doubled at first base.
And Teak, watching Lemke more and more, we've seen quite a bit of him now the last couple of years. He is one of the finer second basemen on that double play.
Yeah, he's not flashy out there with what he does, but he's very, very steady.
John Kruk grounded to Lemke first time up. John is 0 for 1. So we have a scoreless ball game. Phillies hitting in the 3rd. Not much happening offensively so far. As you can see now why Bobby Cox issued that intentional pass. He didn't want to pitch to Stocker in that situation in the 2nd, because this is going to be one of those ball games where you expect anyway that few runs will be scored.
It may change as the game goes on, but early indications are that that's the type of ball game we have this evening.
One and 2 on Kruk. John doesn't say much to umpires, but his body language is pretty easy to read. I mean, it's like he's wearing his heart in his sleeve. Cue shot, and Pendleton can't get it. Played it off to the side and swiped at it. That's a base hit for Kruk, and I wonder whether Pendleton thinks it should have been a hit.
Well, I know for a fact that Glavin doesn't think it should be a hit. This
No.
ball, Pendleton playing way off the line against Kruk at the plate. Kruk just hits a simple one hopper, little short hop, and I guess it hit that dirt and skidded just a little bit, but Terry just did not get over in front. He had plenty of time to get in front of the ball, elected to play it on the side, and when it did not come up, scooted on by him into left field.
Kruk will take it, and that is the Phillies' 2nd hit of the night. So now you got to face Hollins with a man on. Should he come up with a long ball here, you double your output. Took a big cut, got just a piece. Hollins has the other hit for the Phillies, single to left field. Just a little low. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hollins. Dave batting at .277. His average has been on the rise.
You can tell watching Tommy Glavin work that he's very comfortable when he throws to the outside part of the plate, but very, very selective about those pitches on the inside part of the plate. They're going to be knee high. They're going to be right on the corner.
There's one outside.
There's that changeup. Pitchers have comfort zones, and you know there's a spot, and for Tommy Glavin, it's down and away to a right-handed hitter that you just feel like you can automatically throw the ball there anytime you want to. The other spot down and into the right-hander is not comfortable for him, and he really has to be particular and wants to make sure that he gets it there because he doesn't want to leave it out in the middle of the plate where one of these Philly hitters can turn around and pound on one.
Yeah, Glavin does not have overpowering stuff. He's never been a guy who's going to throw the ball by you. Who do you think is the hardest thrower on the Braves staff?
Oh, I have not seen McMichaels. I heard he throws pretty good. I have not seen him in person. Wohlers throws real hard. Smoltz gets it up there pretty good, too.
He was hit. That's the Hollins of last year. Dave just not giving an inch at the plate. He did that so many times last year. So Hollins gets hit by a pitch for Dave only the 4th time this year.
Glavine decides to come up and in on Hollins. Again, we said he's going to make sure that he gets it in there. Not that far off the plate. David just kind of stays right there, and the ball hits off his arm.
Probably didn't even feel it.
Doesn't care, I know that. He's on base.
Darren Daulton bats with 2 on and 2 outs. Here's an inning where 3 runners have reached base, and 1 pitch got 2 outs. And here's a pop-up. There's a lot of foul around here, as we mentioned, and there may be room for McGriff, but no, it's back behind the dugout. Daulton alive, 1 strike to count. Darren walked first time up. His 84th base on balls. He's just 1 behind the leaders. Well, the leader, Lenny Dykstra, has just taken over the lead in walks with 86, Kruk at 85, and now Daulton at 84. The Phillies with the top 3.
And this is an inning you like to come out with something out of this inning. Kruk gets on the base hit that could have been played by Pendleton, wasn't. Hollins gets on by way of the hit batter, so the Braves have kind of put you in business without having to do a whole lot yourself.
Yeah, so with all this help, all you need is just 1 key hit.
Get 1 nice base hit here. Again, the Braves playing Daulton around the pull. A lot of room in that left center field gap and down the left field line.
That's low. 2 balls and a strike. There's a look at the Braves defense and the Phillies Brain Trust. That's hitting coach Dennis Menke along with the skipper. Strike called, and it's 2-2 on Darren. Glavine in his career has won 86 games and lost only 64. To the plus side by 22. Daulton hits it to right field. It's a fair ball. Coming around third is Kruk. He scores. Also being sent around Hollins. Here's the relay to the plate. He scores. Daulton to third base. It'll be a double, and the Phillies lead 2-0.
So the Phillies do take advantage of the help by the Atlanta Braves. Darren Daulton didn't hit the gap in left center or down the left field line, but he was able to get out in front of this pitch from Tommy Glavine, pull the ball down in the right field corner. See the fastball on the inside part of the plate. Dutch just turns on and hits a BB down in the right field corner. By the time David Justice can get over and get the ball relayed back in to Mark Lemke and then to Damon Berryhill, David Hollins hustling all the way with 2 outs, able to score from first base, and the Phillies get 2 runs on the board. See Lemke's throw here a little bit high at home plate. Berryhill has to jump up. Hollins able to dive underneath it.
The batter is Incaviglia, who flied to left field first time up. So even despite a double play ball in the inning, the Phillies pick up 2 for Daulton. RBIs number 79 and 80. He is now only 3 behind Bonds. Fly ball deep to right field, but Justice should get it. And that's the final out of the inning. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel.
Bravo, an exclusive selection of American independent and award-winning films. Bravo, music, dance, and theater from the classics to the cutting edge. Bravo, bringing you backstage to meet today's hottest stars, top artists, and acclaimed filmmakers. Cable television's only cultural center for the dramatic and performing arts. Bravo, Culture Television.
The other day, these guys came to me and said, Kirby, how'd you like to be in a cross-training commercial for Nike? You wear the shoes, right? We could come film your workout. So I say to them, let me get this straight. You want to make a 3-hour commercial?
Now, reports of the legendary two-footed object have been growing.
Anything? Nothing.
Must be big. Even Chet's seen it.
We're getting something.
Coming over the hill, Sarge.
Hit the lights, boys! Bigfoot!
Bigfoot Pizza, the legendary value from Pizza Hut, with 2 square feet and a tasty new crust you can't get anywhere else, all for $10.99.
Okay, folks, let's break it up.
Bigfoot Pizza, the biggest pizza you can get delivered.
Phillies baseball on Sports Channel, brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. By your local Quality Plus Ford dealer, where you'll find 5 of the top 10 best-selling vehicles in America. And by Pizza Hut. Call Pizza Hut Delivery now and have your pizza in the 6th inning. We're in the bottom of the 3rd, and the Phillies have just taken a 2-0 lead. And I noticed in the paper today that the Braves have, on this hot streak of theirs recently, generally been scoring first, but now this is 2 nights in a row where the Phillies have put their numbers on the board first.
And what that does is it puts a little more pressure on the Braves offense. The top guys in the lineup, Otis Nixon and Deion Sanders, are basically the Braves running game. Ron Gant was running a little bit earlier in the season, but you know, now that he's hitting ahead of McGriff, he's really not going to steal a whole lot of bases because you want McGriff to be able to swing the bat. So now the combination of not having a whole lot of a running game to start with and the fact that you're behind in the game kind of slows down the options for the Braves.
Lemke bunts. Schilling to field it. Grabs it. Throws him out. He gets his old nemesis. Lemke came into the game 6 for 12 off Schilling with a pair of home runs. Well, you got a shot of the umbrellas springing up. It is starting to rain here in Atlanta, and we do not have an official ball game. The Phillies have taken a 2-0 lead. 1 out in the 3rd. Pitcher Tommy Glavine, we mentioned he was a pretty good hitter. He has 8 hits this year, batting 148, 180 lifetime. Strike call. That's low. 1 ball, 1 strike on Glavine. He has 1 double among his 8 hits. He's never hit a major league home run. Strike 1 and 2. Two and 2. Rain falling in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Just another rainy night in Georgia. We've seen a few. Tapper charged by Hollins. Tough play. Gets him. Hollins becoming so good at that. Dave is almost better off on a play like that than when he has a chance to use that powerful arm of his and has the chance to take too many crow hops.
Yeah, he comes in here and does a nice job of fielding the ball off to the side, therefore putting his body into position to throw before he actually fields the ball. Once he gets the ball in his glove, transfers over to the throwing hand, he's now in a good position to make an accurate throw to Kruk at first base.
Deion Sanders bats with the bases empty and 2 outs. The Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons won their 4th straight last night, 3-2 over Rochester. Andy Carter picked up the win. He's 6-6. And a save for Jeff Patterson. That is his 6th. Schilling's got that broken bat hopper. And down go the Braves. And at the end of 3 tonight, this ball game is 0-0.
We're gonna have to bail. What about the Bud Light? No time. There's only 1 left. You take it. I'll never forget you.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Not so fast. Yes.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You know he's not perfect, but on certain days in his life, he has been. The night he poured in 63 points. The time he crushed 3 home runs in the World Series.
The day he found Dwight Clark in the end zone. And you wish at some point, at some moment in your life, you could be that perfect too. And that's why you cheer for him. That's why you believe in heroes.
The Phillies look to cook a Canadian goose when they play Montreal Tuesday, August 10th and Wednesday, August 11th at 7:35. And Thursday, August 12th at 12:35 at a business person special. Then Bonilla, Doc, and the Mets make a house call Friday, August 13th, 7:35. Saturday, August 14th, 7:05. And Sunday, August 15th at 1:35 when kids 14 and under get a free Phillies road jersey. Call 463-1000.
Well, the Phillies have a new item for the younger fans this year. It's Road Jersey Day on Sunday, August the 15th, a 1:35 game against the New York Mets. And all children 14 and under will receive a brand new gray shirt that looks just like the Phillies road jersey, including the logo of the Phillies in red on the front. This comes compliments of Gatorade and is a must for all the kids. So make your plans to come out now. Order tickets easily by phone to just call 463-1000 or stop by the Center City ticket office at Mellon PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets.
Phillies 2, Atlanta nothing as we go to the fourth. Chamberlain to lead it off. West was out on a ground ball to short. First time up, and a lot of umbrellas are up here at the ballpark now. But it's not raining hard. Glavine will tease Chamberlain with those changeups. Glavine figures to be the kind of pitcher who is tough on West.
Yeah, West is pretty much of a pull hitter. He has hit some balls to right field recently during this hot streak, but you know, if he has his preference, he likes to pull the ball, and that changeup by Glavine, very difficult to pull and be successful.
Tops that one. No balls, 2 strikes on West. It'll be Chamberlain, Stocker, and Schilling. Glavine giving up the 2-run double to Darren Dalton for the only scores in this ball game. High pop-up in the infield, a play for Pendleton. Looking up into those raindrops. 1 out. Well, Stocker's going to get a chance to swing the bat for the first time. He was walked intentionally in his first plate appearance tonight. Stocker with an 8-game hitting streak, batting .538 in the last 8 games. .407 since joining the Phillies. Strike.
You're mentioning that .407 average by Kevin Stocker, and that's wonderful, but the most important thing that Kevin Stocker brings to the party is that glove that he takes out to shortstop.
Oh, no doubt.
Makes all the plays look very routine, and the hitting is actually a bonus. You know, the Phillies are just looking for him to go out there and give them a steady, everyday performance at shortstop.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expects him to bat .400 or even .300
No.
for that matter, but you know, he's shown that he can handle the bat, that he can hit behind the runner, that he knows what's needed. Here's a ball in the air to left for Gant. And Stocker is out. 2 outs. So it figures to be an easy inning for Glavine if he can get the pitcher now. Schilling grounded into a force out the first time, hitting the ball to shortstop. That's fair ball. Going to get down into the right field corner. It's extra bases for Schilling. Rolls away from Justice. Schilling will be content to stop at second. That's a 2-base hit for Schilling. His first extra base hit of the year. Hit number 4 for the Phillies.
Kurt gets a fastball from Glavine on the outside part of the plate and just lays the bat on it, tucks it inside the right field corner. Phillies get a little bit of a break here. Justice goes to the corner. The ball catches off that little part that juts out right there and then eliminates any play that Justice would have had at second base. Schilling, of course, not real speedy. Justice, said the ball got to him, may have had a play at second base. I don't know. It probably would have been a tough play, but that bounce right there eliminated any chance he had. So Schilling now in scoring position with 2 outs for Lenny Dykstra.
And Lenny changes his mode of thinking here. Lenny, normally a leadoff man, now will try to be RBI man. Runner at second and 2 outs. Lenny with 35 runs batted in this year. Hits it to the gap in right center, but unfortunately, Neon Deion Sanders is there. Line drive for the out. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. 4 runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. Move to the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Philly.
The superstars of Eastern Championship Wrestling are coming to Sports Channel. Starting in April, you'll have a ringside seat for all the slams, the crashes, and the pure athleticism that is the ECW. Eastern Championship Wrestling every Tuesday at 6 p.m. starting April 6th only on Sports Channel. Eastern Championship Wrestling, it's not for everyone.
If you're not watching Twin Peaks on Bravo, here's what you're missing.
Hi.
Who are you?
Laura was my cousin.
Laura had secrets. I know who killed Laura Palmer.
Twin Peaks. Fridays at 8 and Sundays at 10. Only on Bravo.
It's a really good-looking Phillies road jersey, free for kids 14 and under, compliments of Gatorade, when the Phillies play the Mets Sunday, August 15th at 1:35. Get a free new jersey when the Phillies play New York. Call 463-1000.
If you've been thinking about joining us at Phillies Dream Week next February in Clearwater Beach, you had better call now to get all the details on how you can take the field with Boa, Blazinski, Cash. I'll be there too. It's a magical week of baseball fun and memories that will last a lifetime. The number to call is 215-938-1200. That's 215-938-1200 for Phillies Dream Week. You can call right now.
There's a young man dressed appropriately for the kind of weather we have here in Atlanta tonight. We have light rain falling at the moment, but the game will continue. Phillies fans in attendance and watching the Phils with a 2-0 lead. Yeah, we see.
And proud of it.
You betcha. Phillies fans showing up wherever the team goes these days. Sanders gets a little rub down there. And the Braves start with Blauser here in the 4th inning. He's 0 for 1. That was a ground ball to Duncan. Blauser, Gant, and McGriff. We were talking earlier about what kind of shape this field is in. The Atlanta Falcons no longer play here. They've got the Georgia Dome now, and they no longer allow motocross in here or any other activities aside from baseball. So they can maintain this park a whole lot easier than they used to.
Well, this was one of the stadiums that was a true multi-purpose stadium. Any purpose that they could think of, they would put in here, and they have now eliminated all this. It's strictly a baseball stadium, and you can see by the way the field is that it's made a tremendous difference. I mentioned earlier how chopped up this field used to be, and it would be the football team would tear it up, all the other events would tear it up, and the ground crew could never get it back together. Now in immaculate shape.
Plan is for this stadium to be used for baseball just the rest of this year and 3 more years. A strikeout number 4 for Schilling. The new Olympic Stadium is being constructed nearby. In fact, it's on one of the parking lots. The Braves lost 3,000 parking spaces starting with this homestand. And then after the Olympics in '96 conclude, the Braves will move into that ballpark.
Yeah, parking a problem right now at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Only 700 parking spaces available for the general public. All the rest of the parking spaces taken by the season ticket holders.
Jam job and a base hit. Gant gets the first Braves hit on a good pitch by Schilling. He was jammed, but Gant was strong enough to muscle it into right field.
Ron Gant, a pull hitter. Phillies shifted around. Schilling makes a good pitch on the inside part of the plate. Gant able to get the hands in front and just force it through the right side because Mariano was playing so far up the middle toward where Gant would normally hit the ball. This little jammer gets through the right side, but Ron Gant and his power, you will let him have all the singles that he wants on that side. Just don't give him those long ones the other direction.
Fred McGriff grounded out to Kruk first time up. Foul ball. The hit by Gant now gives him a 12-game hitting streak, and he's the only runner the Braves have had tonight. He walked the first time up and singles his second time, so He's the only Brave to reach base in this ball game, led by the Phillies 2-0.
Gant at first base with 15 stolen bases in 21 attempts. Most of those, or almost all of those, came before Fred McGriff was acquired. Probably will not have the opportunity to run quite as often now, especially in ball games where you're behind. And if you get McGriff at the plate with somebody on, you want to give him a chance to hit the long ball and get you a couple quick runs. So Gant's running game might be curtailed a little bit the rest of the season.
That's a good point. That's what they're thinking right here, and that's a look at third base coach Jimmy Williams, who was an ex-major league skipper himself. In fact, he managed McGriff with Toronto. Center field, sinking, base hit. Making it over around second is Gant. He goes to third. Dykstra had trouble picking it up, but it makes no difference. The tying runs are on base here with 1 out. That's bringing the crowd to life for the first time tonight. A hot hitter, Justice, coming up with 2 on, 1 out.
Again, McGriff did not hit the ball hard, just placed it in front of Lenny Dykstra in center. And as this play develops, watch Dykstra out in center field. The ball, well, we're seeing Gant go over the third base, but the ball, because of the rain, is wet. Lenny, when he picked it up and threw it back into second, threw it completely over Duncan and Stalker. Kurt Schilling alertly picked it up in the middle of the infield, kept McGriff from going to second base.
He grabbed a bar of soap, huh?
It's a little bit slick out there, folks.
Justice struck out first time up there, but he has been hot, as we mentioned, when he batted the first time. Justice hitting .457 over the last 13 ball games. 2-0 Phillies, but the Braves have the tying runs aboard. Boy, those first 2 pitches have been very close, both of them, and the call in both cases went to Justice, not Schilling.
And Schill and Dutch both reacting to each one of those pitches.
Also close, 3-0. So Schilling in trouble here for the first time tonight. Prior to this inning, the Braves have never had a runner past first base. He gets a light, taps it foul. They gave him the chance on 3-0.
As you mentioned earlier, Justice one of the 3 in a row with 25 home runs. The Braves have used the long ball to score a lot of their runs this season. Not real good at putting innings together by base hits, but get a couple guys on and pop out one of those long balls. That's the way they've scored quite often this year.
In the air to deep left field. 3-run opposite field home run by Justice, his 26th of the year. Braves lead it 3-2.
David Justice has a light on a 3-0 count and fouls the ball off. This time gets a 3-1 pitch up in the strike zone and was able to launch it out to left field. Jim Fregosi out to the mound. I think what he's seeing is he saw the reaction of Schilling and Dalton earlier in that count. Wants to go out to make sure that Schilling is under control right now. Here we see the pitch from Schilling. Not all that bad a pitch on the outside part of the plate, about thigh high, but David Justice just showing very good power to the opposite field.
Though Schilling, who has just given up his 17th home run, that's fairly up high in the league. Justice now 76 runs batted in. Braves lead by 1. Pendleton at the plate. 1 out in the inning. Pendleton struck out first at bat, as did Justice. Hit towards Stalker. Stocker makes the play. There are 2 outs. And now Berryhill will bat. Braves catcher tonight was called out on strikes to end the 2nd inning. Damon Berryhill platooning with Greg Olson, who caught last night, and the Braves have a good emergency catcher should they need one. Francisco Cabrera can go behind the plate, so Bobby Cox can pinch hit for either one of his catchers and know that he's not going to get hung up.
And of course, Berryhill and Olson in that platoon, kind of a strange platoon. You know, normally you platoon left and right, but Cox's platoon works in a way that they each have certain pitchers that they catch, and when your day comes up and your pitcher is pitching, you're behind the plate. Sort of like a McCarver-Carlton situation throughout the entire pitching staff.
And you know they're out of rotation too, because Olson's 3 pitchers are Glavine, Avery, and Smoltz. And Berryhill's 2 pitchers are Maddox and Pete Smith. Now Pete Smith's on the DL right now, so that's why they're trying to get him an extra game. And as I say, they're out of rotation.
And they have to do that because, of course, remember the leg injury that Olson had last year, the broken leg. Physically very tough on him to go back there and catch every day and every day. And right now, as you said, with that rotation, he would be back there on almost an everyday basis.
Well, tomorrow night we've got Greg Maddox scheduled to go, so I would imagine Berryhill will be behind the plate again tomorrow. 2 balls, 1 strike on Berryhill. Pitcher gives up a 3-run home run. The toughest thing is to pull yourself together, get back to work, and just keep in mind that you're only in the 4th inning. There's a long way to go. That's one way to cover up. And the rain, which never got real heavy, I think has slackened a bit. Got him. Schilling with his 5th strikeout. However, the Braves get on the board with 3 on the homer by Justice. 3 hits, nobody left, and the Braves lead it 3-2.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Bush beer, an easy drinking Bush Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Bush beer is a drinking Bush Light.
Yeah, you're right, Judd. There's no beach traffic.
Easy. I want out. There's a Coke machine.
Man, I'm so hot.
Certainly are.
Hot as in sweaty.
Hey, so crank on the AC.
Air conditioning is for the weak, like yourself.
I'm sticking to the seat like yourself.
That
Please,
dog is
me.
moving faster than we are.
All you guys ever do is complain.
Your shoes are pretty.
Could someone please fan me?
No.
Coca-Cola, anyone?
Thank you, Alan, for serving a purpose in my life for the first time.
You're very welcome.
Okay, panel. How can you recognize the genuine Yellow Pages?
It has a yellow cover.
Good.
It says New Jersey Belle on the front.
Right.
It has more choices inside.
Yes! That's how you tell the genuine article from mere imitators. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. The genuine New Jersey Belle Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic Company.
We're back here in Atlanta, and the Phillies now trail the Braves by a run. It's a 3-2 score. Braves taking the lead on the 3-run home run by Justice, and it looked like Schilling got squeezed a little in the at-bat prior to the home run.
Well, I don't know if he got squeezed. There were a couple pitches that were real close that, could have possibly been called strikes. They were both called balls. There's the first one, and then finally on a 3-1 count, thigh high on the outside part of the plate. Justice, to his credit, did not try to pull the ball, hit the ball hard the opposite way, and was able to get it out of here.
That's exactly what we saw Incaviglia do last night. Here's Duncan for the Phillies, and he takes a strike. Duncan has struck out and grounded into a double play. Hits the ball in the air, should be caught by Sanders. One out in the fifth. John Kruk heading for the plate. Kruk is 1 for 2. He grounded out, singled and scored in the third inning. Kruk stepping in with a .351 batting average.
You have to keep in mind now, with the Braves in the lead, top of the fifth inning, this becomes an official ball game after the Phillies conclude their at bat. If the Phillies are able to score a couple runs and go ahead in this ball game, then it will not become an official game until after the Atlanta Braves bat in the bottom of the fifth.
And it continues to rain here. That's always exaggerated a little bit by television. It really isn't raining that hard, and they have not given any indication that they would hold up play. It doesn't rain any harder than this. Kruk fouls it. 1 ball and 2 strikes on John. Little bouncer on the right side. McGriff's going to need Glavine. Gets his help. 2 outs in the Phillies' fifth inning as McGriff makes the play with the help of his pitcher. Glavine, a good fielder.
Well, there isn't much that Tommy Glavine does not do out there on the field. He fields his position well, covers the bases. As we mentioned earlier, can put the bat on the ball. Not a power hitter, but can put the bat on the ball. And of course, we know what type of arm he has and his abilities out there on the mound.
And he's a fierce competitor. Speaking of fierce competitors, here's Hollins. Has singled and been hit by a pitch, scored 1 run. Going to be a tough play for Pendleton. He doesn't even make a throw. Base hit for Hollins. He's on base for the 3rd straight time. Hollins with an infield hit. They've got an infield hit here last night.
Wise play by Terry Pendleton right here. Hollins tops the ball down the third base line. First of all, it's going to be a difficult play to get Hollins at first base. And on top of that, after the ball rolls along the ground like that, Pendleton knows that he's got a wet ball in his hand, and he's got a better chance of throwing it down in the right field corner than he does to get Hollins at first base, so he just takes it and sticks it in his pocket and holds on to it.
One thing about Hollins, he will run out every ball. And he smelled hit on that one anyway. Now Dalton, he has the Phillies 2 RBIs tonight with a double to the right field corner. Darren takes a strike, and he walked his first time up. Dalton batting .254. Phillies have the tying run on first here in the 5th inning. And he hits another one to right field for a base hit. Hollins turns second hard, goes to third. A first and third, 2-out threat for the Phillies as Dalton reaches for the 3rd straight time. Hollins and Dalton have been on every time tonight.
Much like the last at bat, Dalton gets a pitch. Berryhill sitting on the outside part of the plate. Glavine does not get it out there, leaves it in the middle of the plate. Dutch pulls it into right field. This time doesn't get it quite as far over toward the line. David Justice able to get over and cut it off, keep David Hollins from scoring from first base, get it back into second. So the Phillies with runners at first and third and 2 outs, and the red hot Pete Incaviglia at the plate.
Seems like every time Incaviglia comes up there, they're 2 aboard.
When you got a guy that's hot, that's not all bad.
He has flied out twice tonight. Takes outside, ball one. Glavine will want to work on him carefully here. Second time tonight that Incaviglia's been up there with 2 aboard. Last time he was up there with just 1 on. Ball 2, 2-0. How about coming to Atlanta in August and playing a game in 75-degree temperature last night and 71-degree temperature tonight? Outside, ball 3.
It appears as if Tommy Glavine is doing a little bit of a pitch around with Pete Incaviglia right here.
I was wondering about that. He may fear Chamberlain less than Incaviglia.
As we mentioned, that changeup away, and Wes has hit the ball weakly the first 2 times up.
Down the right field line, a long way. It hits the pole. That's a 3-run home run. It just caught the screen. It's 5-3 Phillies on Inky's second 3-run homer of the series.
For the second night in a row, Pete Incaviglia with a home run into the right field corner. This time on a 3-0 pitch from Tommy Glavine. As we mentioned, Glavine working very carefully to him. Jim Fregosi gives Inky a 3-0 green light. Pitch outside again. Inky just goes with it and drives the ball down the right field line. Fair or foul? Fair, right off the net.
And that's why they have a net. Otherwise, that one would have been tough to call. Chamberlain takes ball 1. So the Phillies are back on top in this ball game. 5-3 Phillies. Number 18 for Incaviglia. Ball 2. Pitching coach Leo Mazzoni trying to act off. Got it. Thought that was going to go foul.
2 nights in a row.
You know, that's only the 9th home run hit off Glavine this year. Strike. 2-1. Earl Weaver was right. The 3-run homer is an unbeatable play.
Only topped by the 4-run homer.
Yeah. 2-2 on West.
But what about the discipline by Incaviglia? 3-0 green light. Not even intending to pull the ball. Again, hitting the opposite way as he did last night, and again, getting the same result.
Wow. That's just because he hits it so hard.
Well, and he's so strong.
Yeah. Fly ball, right field, also well hit. But Justice has room for that one on the track to end the inning. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. 3 runs, 3 hits, nobody left on base. Phillies lead the game 5-3.
Major League Baseball home video presents...
We're back!
Now it can be heard, the sounds of baseball. This is the baseball video that puts you on the field to hear the game as never before.
Base hit, we gotta take the lead right here. Take the lead. First inning.
You're gonna put him in jail?
I'm not gonna put him in jail.
Right in the batter's box, you never go. It up? You know I ain't taking him.
Host Tommy Lasorda takes you behind the closed doors to reveal the secret strategy in team meetings and some Major League Clubhouse practical jokes. Plus, candid moments with today's superstars. Now it can be heard.
Yeah.
Do you want to order?
Yeah.
Well, to order, send check or money order to this address. Or use your credit card and call 1-800-255-9200. That's 1-800-255-9200.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
Phillies Baseball on Sports Channel, brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. Your Nationwide agent in Lafayette Hill is Francis Bruno. By Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change. And by Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. No other book can match it, the Bell Atlantic Company. Andy Musser with Kent DeColvey in Atlanta. Still raining here. Braves getting set to bat in the bottom of the 5th. And as Teak pointed out, it is not yet an official ball game because the Phillies vaulted back on top. So it's not official until the Braves are retired in this inning. And here's Lemke. Tried to bunt his way on first time up. Schilling was kidding before the ball game tonight. We were saying to him that there might not be many changes in the Braves batting order this evening. He says, no, not unless they decide to bat Lemke 4th. And we said, well, why would he do that? And he said, well, you know, in the minor leagues twice, Lemke broke up no hitters in back-to-back starts for him.
Wow.
And he came into the game tonight 6 for 12 in the major leagues off Schill with 2 home runs. 2 for 4 off him this year now.
That's known as having somebody's number.
Really. And Lemke is known as a better right-handed hitter than left-handed batter. But not to Schilling. He won't have any of it. Strike, and it's 3-1 on Lemke. Bouncer, Schilling couldn't get it. Nobody can get it. Base hit. Lemke comes through off Schilling again.
Well, when you hit a guy, everything goes right. Lemke with a one-hopper back up the middle. Schill not able to flag it down as he fell off toward the right-hand side, reached back, not quite able to cut that ball off, and it scoots into center field.
Glavine probably up there to bunt. The Phillies certainly will play for it. He has sacrificed 4 times this year. The Braves are down by 2, but it still makes sense here in the 5th inning. And he does get the bunt down. Dalton takes his time, makes the play to Duncan for the out. Lemke to second base on the sacrifice. That's the first out. Now the top of the order, and Deion Sanders.
Darren Dalton on that play came out, got the ball in his hand, and then very deliberately threw it to first base. We mentioned before, Pendleton did not make a throw because of the wet ball. Dykstra threw the ball high. Dutch made sure that he didn't try to gun the ball to first base, knew that he had time to get Glavine, so just took his time and made a good, accurate throw to Duncan at first. That's knowing what's going on around you in the situation of not only the ball game, but also the field.
And now Sanders, runner at second and 1 out. 0 for 2 in this game. Strike. Schilling has gotten him on a fly ball to center and 1 right back to the mound. That's a strike. 0-2 on Sanders. Talking earlier about his new contract, he can still play football, and I think he plans to, but he can't do it until the baseball season is over. So there'll be no more shuttling back and forth like he did last year.
No, helicopter flights are out this year.
No. Slow.
A lot of the Braves players last year very upset about the fact that he was shuttling back and forth, especially during the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, it had to wear him out. I mean, he could not be at the peak of his game in either sport, I wouldn't think. Foul ball. He does have a live bat, doesn't he? And he cracked his bat that time. Going to need a new stick.
Well, Bobby Cox had made the statement last year that he felt that if Deion Sanders became a full-time baseball player, that he had the ability to become a real good one. And he has all the tools. He's got a good arm, obviously the best speed in baseball, and is becoming a good hitter.
Here's a ball hit to Dykstra territory. Lenny's going to get it. And Lemke will have to stay at second base. That's the second out. So Schilling has helped himself by keeping Sanders off the base paths tonight. Here's Blauser with a runner at second and 2 outs. Lauser, ground ball to second and strikeout. He's 0 for 2. Made the National League All-Star team this year. His average has just dipped under 300. He's at 299 now. Hard hit ground ball and through Duncan. Lemke's going to score on the play. And now it's a 5-4 ball game. It's an error on Duncan. No run batted in.
Well, that ball was sharply hit, and it was hit right at Duncan, but absolutely no reason why that play shouldn't have been made. Mariano just did not get the gate down. Ball scoots through his legs into right field, so Schill should have been out of this inning with no run scored, but now the Braves have a run on the board. See right here, he just plain came up on the ball, didn't keep his glove down to the ground.
Got to face Gant with a runner aboard here. Gant has not made an out tonight. He has walked and singled, scoring once. The Phillies lead back to 1. Strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on a tough hitter Gant. He's batting .271. Gant's been making more errors in the outfield this year than he had in the past. Remember, originally he was an infielder and was sent to the outfield because he was not a good infielder. But Gant says it's just one of those things. He said, I'm not playing any differently. Into Dykstra territory. Lenny makes the play to end the inning. Braves pick up an unearned run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. Now it's an official ball game, and the Phillies lead 5-4.
Trust me, there are just some things you don't want to paint every year. That's why Sherwin-Williams top-of-the-line Super Paint has a 20-year warranty. And it's on sale now during the Super Sale-a-thon. Interior and exterior Super Paint is only $16.99. Super Sale-a-thon ends August 28th. So hurry. Like I said, there are some things you don't want to paint every year.
Mountain man survival skills. The basics. A true mountain man must have a keen sense of direction, a certain physical dexterity, and a talent for surviving the most unforgiving climates. Of course, nothing is more key to a mountain man's survival than plenty of smooth bush beer and easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and learn how the mountain man survives even the most grueling conditions.
The Phillies look to cook a Canadian goose when they play Montreal Tuesday, August 10th and Wednesday, August 11th at 7:35. And Thursday, August 12th at 12:35 and a business person special. Then Bonilla, Doc, and the Mets make a house call Friday, August 13th, 7:35. Saturday, August 14th, 7:05. And Sunday, August 15th at 1:35. When kids 14 and under get a free Phillies road jersey. Call 463-1000.
Phillies back home next Tuesday night. Meet the Montreal Expos in a 3-game series starting next Tuesday. 2 night games and a day game. August 12th has the business person special at 12:35. Then the Mets in for the weekend. 2 night games and a day game there. The day game being Sunday, August 15th. That's Road Jersey Day. Don't forget, this is the last visit for these 2 teams, so make your plans now. The number to call for your tickets, 463-1000. 5-4 Phillies moving to the 6th inning. Stocker to lead it off. He has walked. That was an intentional walk, and he has flied to left. Stocker, Schilling, and Dykstra. Looks like the rain has stopped. Almost all the umbrellas are down, except for a few folks who probably forgot to peek out and see whether they need them or not. Stocker takes a strike. Hitting at 400 on the button. Tries to bunt for a hit, but bunts it foul. We've seen Stocker do that. Stocker had a bunt hit on Sunday.
talking to Larry Boa the other day, and he says, you know, everybody's impressed with Stocker with his glove and, of course, obviously the way he's hitting right now. He says what impresses me the most about him is the fact that he's so aware of what's going on around him.
Little pop-up back of the infield. Lemke retreats and catches it. Yeah, it's obvious that he is well schooled in baseball, that he really knows the game.
Yeah, he has the instincts that allow him to be aware of what's going on around. The reason he tried to bunt right there, Fred McGriff playing back at first base, thought he had a chance to push the ball by the mound on the right side and possibly beat it out. The other night, play a ground ball in the hole. Shortstop with men on first and second. Knew right away as soon as the ball was hit he wanted to go for the forced play at third base.
Schilling over his head. Yes, base hit for Schilling. Nice retreat by Lemke, but he couldn't get that one, and Schilling is 2 out of 3. Hit number 8 for the Phillies.
For the second time in a row, Schill first ball fastball hitting. Glavine gets the ball on the outside part of the plate again where he likes to throw it. Schill just flares it, hits it off the tip of Lemke's glove. Almost made a great play retreating into right field. See right here, the ball hits his glove, just not able to corral it. So for the second time in a row, Schilling on, hitting that first pitch. Just going up there and looking for the first fastball from Glavine, assuming that it's going to be away and just trying to put the bat on it. 2 for 2.
Dykstra bats. Lenny has struck out, walked, and lined to center. He's 0 for 2. Just watching that first replay of Lemke's reaction, it looked like he thought he was going to get that ball. Dykstra takes ball 1. Steve Bedrosian is up in the Atlanta bullpen, and that left-hander is Pedro Borbon, son of Pedro Borbon. His daddy was a right-hander. Strike. 1-1. Lenny with just 1 run scored over the last 5 games plus this one. Ball 2, 2-1. Right now, the Braves' number 5 starter, Pete Smith, is on the DL. And during his absence, they gave 1 start to Kent Merker. Line drive. That's in for a base hit. Schilling goes to second base on a line hit by Dykstra. So Lenny is 1 for 3, and Glavine has given up 9 hits. We're in the 6th inning. Bobby Cox a little concerned about his starter. That's why he's got those 2 up in the bullpen. And now Duncan will bat. Glavine has handled Duncan tonight. He struck him out, got him into a ground ball double play and fly ball to center. Is Coxey really thinking about a move here, Teak?
Wouldn't be surprised. 9 base hits. You know, un-Glavine-like as far as the number of base hits that he's given up, and he is. He's going to make the move. He's going to Bedrosian.
How about that? So Tommy Glavine, a 1-time Cy Young Award winner, gets lifted in the 6th inning of a 1-run ball game. Glavine out after 5 1/3. And the Rock is coming in. Steve Bedrosian, also an ex-Cy Young Award winner. Pitching change here in Atlanta. We shall return shortly.
Trouble with heartburn? Well, you could change your job, change your lifestyle, change your diet.
Bon appetit.
Or better still, reach for Rolaids. It absorbs acid fast to bring 100% relief to millions. So maybe you can't change your life, but you can get relief in original and calcium rich. Rolaids spells relief.
Let's check the Rolaids relief stats. Rolaids spells relief. First checking the American League. Good little battle there, although Jeff Montgomery has taken the lead now with 89 points. Ahead of Ward and Russell, who are battling it out. But Lee Smith has been the big overall point man.
Well, he's been the big overall point man, but in the National League, Lee Smith on the injured list for a while. Rod Beck and Randy Myers had just tremendous months in the month of July, and they have closed it down. Lee Smith had a very healthy margin into July, but coming out of July, Beck and Myers have closed it down to a 10-pointer, so it's getting closer.
Speaking of relievers, we will now check out Steve Bedrosian. Bedrock, 35 years of age. Cy Young Award winner in '87 when he wore the Phillies pinstripes. Bedrosian has resurrected his career after sitting out for a year. Tonight marks his 30th appearance, and he has a 1.71 earned run average. Remember, he had the numbness in his fingers that did not allow him to control the ball, and he retired for a year, but the feeling came back.
Yeah, he said he had no intentions at all of coming back. He felt that, you know, that was it and he was done. And all of a sudden he says, you know, after I sat at home for a year, all of a sudden I started feeling that feeling started coming back in his hand. He has no idea why the feeling came back, but he says, you know, once I started feeling the ball again, he says, you know, I started getting that feeling. Maybe I ought to go back and try this again. Went to camp with the Braves this year and made the ball club.
Facing Duncan now. The Phillies have 2 on with 1 out. Phillies lead 5-4. We're in the 6th. Duncan takes high a ball. Duncan swings at a high pitch. Bedrosian gets a strike out of it as Duncan went after that. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bedrosian, 35 years of age, always did make his home right here in this area. So it's a break for him to be back and pitching for the Braves. And talking with Steve one day, their bullpen remains up. Jay Howell is up and Bourbon. Bedrosian was talking about how much he appreciates baseball even more having sat out a year, and I guess that's the case. Here's a ball driven to deep left field. Gant can't get it. Scoring on the play will be Schilling. Dykstra coming around. Lenny scores. Phillies lead it, packing on 2 more runs, and it's 7-4 Phillies. A double for Duncan off Steve Bedrosian.
Well, Dunk got one of those fastballs up in the strike zone that he likes and does what he likes to do with it. Drives it hard into left center field. Ron Gant initially thought that he had a chance, but that ball just kept carrying over his head. Could do nothing but play the short hop off the left field wall. By the time he's able to get it back in, Schilling and Dykstra across the plate.
Interesting the way things work out. Kruk now will be given an intentional walk. Glavine had handled Duncan, had him 0 for 3, but Cox goes and makes the percentage move to have a right-hander face him, and Duncan drills it. So with the base open, Kruk will be passed, and Dave Hollins will be up there batting left-handed then.
Well, as a manager, you're responsible for making those decisions, and you know, when they work, you look like a genius, but sometimes they're just not going to work, and this time it backfires on Bobby Cox. Jim Fregosi knows that feeling. He's made some decisions, most of which have worked this year. Every once in a while, though, you get one where you think you're right, you go with your gut instinct, but it just doesn't work out that way.
Well, they got Hollins up there batting from his weaker side. Dave, 341 right-handed, but 233 left-handed. So we'll see how this turns out. Hollins has been on 3 straight times tonight, 2 singles and hit by a pitch. He scored twice. 7-4 Phillies. Hollins now batting at .280. Added 5 points to the batting average here tonight. One ball, 1 strike. Looks like Bedrosian has struggled with his control a little bit.
Yeah, he's been up in the strike zone. Leo Mazzoni has a strange little workout that he has. He has his relievers throw before the game every day. And it's something that most, in fact, I don't know of any other pitching coaches that have that done, but Mazzoni does have his pitchers throw every day. Not hard in the bullpen, but just to keep their rhythm. And right now, Bedrock's rhythm is definitely out of sync.
Let's mention again how this inning was helped along by Kurt Schilling getting a hit. He's in the dugout with a run, but that was a key play in this inning. That's high. 3-1 now on Hollins. Tommy Glavine out of the ball game, and by the way, those runs were charged to Glavine. On-deck hitter for the Phillies is Dalton. Three and one. Strike. That's pitcher's pitch on the inside corner.
That's doing exactly what he should. When the pitcher makes a pitch like that on a 3-1 count, you don't have to hit it. Take it. Take your chances on the 3-2 pitch. If you get something you like on the 3-1 pitch, wail on it.
Got a piece. Big hit by Mariano Duncan. Having a bad night coming up to the plate, having struck out, grounded into a double play, flied out, but hit a gap double, and that really helped the Phillies. RBIs number 44 and 45 for Mariano. Hollins drills it hard to center field, but Sanders there makes the catch. Hit it right on the button, but Hollins out for the first time tonight. 2 outs. Here comes Bobby Cox. And with Darren Dalton coming up, I guess we're going to get our first look at Pedro Borbon.
Yeah, Bobby not waiting at all. As soon as he took one step out of the dugout, made the sign to the bullpen, signaled to first base umpire Randy Marsh that he wants Borbon.
Pitching change here in Atlanta. Phillies are ahead 7-4. We'll be right back.
We asked several experts on wetness to help us introduce Dorney Park's newest ride. It's the tallest, fastest, wettest waterfall plunge ride in the world. And while it's a thrill ride for the whole family, we're afraid you must be at least 46 inches tall to ride it. After all, there's wet. And then there's wet. Discount coupons available at participating Wendy's restaurants.
Now, reports of the legendary two-footed object have been growing.
Anything? Nothing.
Must be big. Even Chet's seen it.
We're getting something.
Coming over the hill, Sarge.
Hit the lights, boy! Bigfoot!
Bigfoot Pizza, the legendary value from Pizza Hut, with 2 square feet and a tasty new crust you can't get anywhere else, all for $10.99.
Okay, folks, let's break it up.
Bigfoot Pizza, the biggest pizza you can get delivered.
Your Quality Plus Ford dealers are #1 with the most versatile lineup of family wagons. Going on a picnic, to the store, or across country, there's a Ford wagon for every need. Now save up to $2,900 on a Ford Aerostar. Hurry, save thousands on every wagon in stock. Only at your #1 selling Quality Plus Ford dealer.
5 of the top 10 sellers, all American built quality. See your Ford dealer today. Get behind the wheel and turn the key.
Bert sells balloons. Bob sells balloons. Bert sells wacky gifts. Bob sells wacky gifts. Bert delivers. Bob delivers. So if Bob's got everything Bert's got, why is Bert busy and Bob not? Now, do you suppose Bert's got a big color ad in the book 9 out of 10 people use? The genuine Bella Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bella Latin cover.
We're about to see the major league debut of Pedro Borbon, or did he pitch for him briefly last year? At any rate, it's his first game with the Braves this year. He was recalled from AAA Richmond on the 28th of July, taking Pete Smith's place on the roster. He was 5-3 at Richmond, 3.19 earned run average in 43 ball games there. son of Pedro Borbon, the ex-Cincinnati reliever. Dalton takes a strike. Darren Dalton tonight has walked, doubled to drive in 2, and singled.
Borbon did make 2 appearances last year for the Braves late in the season. This is his first appearance of this season.
He spent his first year in organized baseball in '88 in the White Sox organization. He was released at the end of that year, and he didn't play at all in '89. Foul to the screen. Pedro from the Dominican Republic, 25 years old. 3 pitchers for the Braves here in the inning, and the Phillies have scored twice to lead 7-4. Pedro Borbon finishes off Darren Dalton to end the inning. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. 2 runs, 3 hits, and 2 left. Phillies lead 7-4.
It's like having a Phillies ticket window come right to your home. Call 463-1000 and reserve your tickets in advance. No rushing, no waiting, no hassle. 463-1000. It's like having a Phillies ticket window right in your...
The metal cylinder is secured and turned in a counterclockwise motion, causing the internal railing to rise and disengage. It's easy to make something as simple as opening a jar complex. The challenge is making the complex simple. But that's what we do at Bell Atlantic Mobile. We take cutting-edge technology and place it comfortably in your hands. Bell Atlantic Mobile. Advanced technology and people who make it mean something.
Only your Quality Plus Ford dealer has the #1 selling car in America, the Ford Taurus. For a limited time, drive the Taurus for just $249 a month for 24 months. Loaded with value. $249 per month is a great payment on Taurus. Hurry, it's only available at your #1 selling Quality Plus Ford dealer.
5 of the top 10 sellers, all American built quality. See your Ford dealer today. Get behind the wheel and turn the key.
The 5th and final Business Person Special of the year will be Wednesday, August 25th, a 12:35 game against the Colorado Rockies. It's the final midweek ball game of the season, so all fans will receive a terrific Pride of the Phillies poster featuring the Phillies pitching staff compliments of Mellon PSFS. And don't forget, it's the last chance to see the Rockies at the Vet this year. Make your plans now to come out. Order your tickets easily by phone. Just call 463-1000 or stop by the Veterans Stadium ticket office.
Braves batting in the 6th inning. They trailed the Phillies 7-4. Leading it off for Atlanta will be Fred McGriff. Here's McGriff. He is grounded out and singled tonight, scoring one of the Atlanta runs. He was on base when Justice drilled a 3-run home run. We've had 2 big 3-run home runs in this game, and they've both been hit to the opposite field.
And how the complexion of this game has changed. We mentioned early in the game, Bobby Cox intentionally walking Kevin Stocker because we thought it was going to be a low-scoring game, and the way it was going at that point it was. All of a sudden now these 2 clubs have put 11 runs on the board.
And the Braves starter is out of the ball game, and the Braves are deep into their bullpen. They've used 3 pitchers already. Dennis Menke and Jim Fregosi looking on. One ball, 2 strikes on McGriff. He'll be followed by Justice and Pendleton. That one sailed on Kurt.
Now that's one of those pitches that just gets away, and you're happy when it gets away high and out of the strike zone like that, because those are ones that can float down the middle and become one of those home runs that people talk about for a long time.
Here's a ball drilled deep to center field. Dykstra back. He's got room on the track. McGriff to dead center for the out. That's the first out, and now Justice. He has struck out and hit a 3-run home run to left. Justice now taking the club lead in homers. He has one more than McGriff and Gann. David Justice has really made his mark on this ball club. National League Rookie of the Year in 1990. Gotten steadily better. He was a 3rd-round draft choice. Actually taken in the 4th round, Atlanta's 3rd choice. They were short at choice that year.
And what an impact he made his rookie year. Come out of nowhere.
Fouls it back off a high pitch, 2-1.
No, he was one of those rookies that comes up and he started hitting the home runs and he was driving in all the runs, and you, okay, now next time around the league will catch up to him, he'll slow down. He never did slow down that year. He just kept pounding and pounding and pounding.
Out of your hometown, Cincinnati. Schilling tries an off-speed pitch but misses, and now it's 3-1.
Three and one, the same count that Justice hit the home run on.
Yeah. Strike.
Schilling says, well, you hit the fastball the last time on 3-1 out for a home run. We'll give you the breaking ball this time.
Try a little slider here. See how you like that. 3-2.
Because I remember what we did then.
Into left field, base hit. Incaviglia gets it on one hop. Justice gets a single. Only the 5th hit for Atlanta.
Over the second batter row, a good job of hitting by David Justice. 3-2 fastball on the outside part of the plate. Did not try to pull it. This time didn't hit it quite as hard. Still hit it to the opposite field. Got himself on base.
Pendleton steps in. Terry TKnight has struck out and grounded to short. They're doing the chop here in Atlanta. Got a guy down here holds up a sign that says chop till you drop.
Well, I hope they drop in a hurry, because I don't particularly like looking at it. Found a nice little 4-6-3 double play ball and put all those choppers back in their holsters.
I was complaining about the wave the other day and got a letter from a fan who said basically let the fans have their fun.
4, 6.
Yes, but not 3.
Not quite.
A force out at second base for the second out of the inning. Pendleton beats out the relay and he's aboard with 2 outs.
Well, Pendleton hit the ball in the right direction. He just didn't hit it firmly enough. Didn't get it to Mariano in time. By the time he was able to get the ball over to Stocker, Justice was on top of him, not able to get a whole lot on the throw. Pendleton hustling down the line, just beat it by about a step.
So Berryhill gets a chance. 2 outs in the inning. He has struck out both times up there tonight. Schilling with 5 strikeouts in the game.
But the chop stopped. I like it.
Strike 1. Phillies up 7-4 in this game. Schilling's done a nice job. There has been no action in the Phillies bullpen whatsoever tonight. Jay Howell is throwing in the Braves bullpen right now.
Recently, there's been a lot of action in the Braves bullpen. Of course, in this instance, Howell up and throwing. Bobby Cox hoping that if he can get down to the pitcher spot, get a chance to use a pinch hitter with a couple men on base. So he has Howell ready.
Otherwise, he'll probably go ahead and stick with Bourbon for a while. In the air to center. Dykstra's going to get it. That's the 3rd out. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left after 6. 7-4 Phillies.
Bravo invites you to experience a powerful film. A tough but tender drama, full of emotion, full of energy.
You break everybody's heart. Everybody who loves you, you break their heart.
Presenting Robert Mulligan's Blood Brothers. Richard Gere and Paul Sorvino star in Blood Brothers. On Bravo.
When you work one job, grab a quick lunch, a quicker dinner, and move on to job number 2, how you gonna spell relief? That's a big relief you can feel, because Rolaids absorbs 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid to stop heartburn fast. So for millions, there's only one way to spell 100% relief. Rolaids spells 100% relief.
We asked several experts on wetness to help us introduce Dorney Park's newest ride. It's the tallest, fastest, wettest waterfall plunge ride in the world. And while it's a thrill ride for the whole family, we're afraid you must be at least 46 inches tall to ride it. After all, there's wet. And then there's wet.
Discount coupons available at participating Wendy's restaurants.
Pete Incaviglia is going to be the leadoff hitter for the Phillies. He has homered now in 4 straight ball games. Let's take a look at last night as he faces Avery.
Well, Steve Avery throws the pitch down and away. Inky, as he said, trying to move the runners, hits the ball on a line, just tucks it in the right field side. Out of here, 3-run homer. Now, you mentioned when Inky came up the first time, you'd like to see the tape rolled again. Here it is. Down and away, a little closer to the right field line.
Really?
Into the net. 3-run homer.
Well, he won't hit a 3-run homer here. He leads off the inning. Incaviglia now with 18 home runs. The last Philly to hit home runs in 4 consecutive ball games was Juan Samuel in '85. Inky has done that now.
We said coming in, he's on a hot streak.
Boy, that is a streak. And here's a ball drilled to the gap in right center, and Sanders can't get that one. Extra bases for Incaviglia. He rolls into second, a leadoff double for him.
Well, this time he's not trying to move the runners. He just gets a pitch on the outside part of the plate and just drives it into the right center field gap.
Boy, those Phillies bats are back to life again. That's hit number 11 in this ball game.
Well, and this is what's amazing about this streak that he's on, because he's hit so many balls the opposite way. The one adjustment that he and Dennis Menke were working on was shortening up the swing a little bit and waiting a little bit longer, doing it perfectly, and now just driving the ball to the opposite side. He's going to make the pitcher start pitching him on the inside part of the plate pretty soon, which is where he wants the ball.
Chamberlain takes a strike. By the way, that was double number 200 by the Phillies this year. They lead the National League in 2 base hits, and that's a nice round number. Chamberlain has grounded out, popped up, and flied out. He's 0 for 3. He probably liked facing Bourbon a whole lot more than facing Glavine. Here's one down the line in right, and that's just foul. Home run range, but that was just to the right of the screen. Yeah, close.
Well, Wesley and Incaviglia be so daggone successful hitting the ball the other way. Says, heck, I'll try that myself. They're pitching me the same way, pitching me outside. Let me see if I can slap one down in the corner. Just barely foul. You see the ball, it'll come into your screen in a second. Tails off and just off the edge of that set of stands that jut out in the right field corner.
0-2 on West. Jammed him. Bourbon was riding it in on West's hands that time. Chamberlain batting .278 as he stands up there. West with a 5-game hitting streak. Bourbon came on last inning to strike out Dalton to end the inning with 2 runners aboard. Chamberlain takes call, strike 3. He doesn't think so.
Well, Bourbon has Chamberlain looking out over the plate, throws the breaking ball and wraps it to the inside part of the plate. Now, it's not where Berryhill catches the ball. It's where the ball crosses the inside or the front edge of the plate. West thinks the ball inside. Harry Wendelstedt says, nope, right on the corner. You're out of here. So West takes his lumber, his helmet, and heads back to the dugout. Not real happy about it, but nonetheless back in the dugout.
That brings Stocker to the plate. He's 0 for 2 in the game, was walked intentionally. Stocker has the team's longest hitting streak. It's 8 in a row. One on and one out. 7th inning, and the Phillies up 7-4. Mike Williams is up in the bullpen. That's low. 2 balls and no strikes. The on deck man, the pitcher Curt Schilling, and what a job he's doing both ways tonight. Schill is a hitter, 2 for 3. Stocker, looper, Sanders charging, diving stop and dropped the ball. Coming around to score, Incaviglia. Phillies lead it 8-4. It's a single for Stocker, a 9-game hitting streak, and the Phillies have another run.
Stocker hits this ball short into center field. Deion Sanders coming hard, tries to make the sliding catch. It appears as if he got in position to be there, just not able to hang on to the ball as it slips off the heel of his glove. Well, I take that back. He came up just short. He trapped it with his knee against the ground, not able to get the glove to the ball. Bounces out in front of him. At this point, Hollins had already committed. If Sanders catches this ball, Hollins is, or Incaviglia, excuse me, is doubled off a second base because he's going all the way, but it doesn't. Or Deion doesn't. Stocker's at first, and Curt Schilling comes to the plate.
And he's up there to bunt. 2 for 3 for him tonight. Fouls it back. He has sacrificed successfully 7 times. Strike 1 on him. So the Phillies have doubled up the Braves. It's 8-4 Phillies.
And what we're seeing from the Phillies is what we've become used to seeing all year long. The team just has a knack of, getting ahead of a ball club and then just keep grinding and grinding and grinding against them, making it very, very difficult for the other club to come back because they just keep grinding out and pushing out more runs.
Schilling gets this one down. It's fair. It stops in the grass. Berryhill makes the play to first. So a successful sacrifice for Schilling, getting Stocker to second. 2 outs. What a night for Incaviglia. Scored twice tonight, once on a 3-run home run and the other time following his double. Now Dykstra. Bunny 1 for 3.
As we pan through the dugout there, you happen to see Jim Eisenreich standing there with his glove on. Might be an indication that he might be going in next inning to go do a little defensive work in right field.
That's the move that Jim Fragosi's been making. And now with a 4-run lead, defense does appear to be more important than offense. Milt Thompson, another guy that might come on, although you want to save somebody back in case this game should turn.
The platoon players have been doing just a tremendous job.
Boy, I'll say. Berryhill battling that one.
As I was mentioning earlier, you expect the everyday players to get into a flow and just kind of be able to continue at a good pace during the season. The platoon players are the ones that have a tough time because you'll be in the lineup for 3 or 4 days, and then depending on the pitching rotation, you may be out for 3 or 4 days. Very difficult to keep any kind of rhythm and flow to what you're doing, but the Phillies platoons in left and right field have worked very well.
Bourbon runs a 3-0 count on Lenny.
There's another member of that platoon that's been contributing on a regular basis, Jim Eisenreich.
Berryhill out to have a word with the young pitcher here. Phillies have scored off Bourbon now. Phillies have out hit the Braves tonight 12-5. Ball 4. Dykstra draws his second walk. He's now the league leader in receiving walks. 5 walks given up by the Braves, and Bobby Cox is coming out. Probably going to make a move. And it looks like it's going to be a double change.
Yeah, he's meeting with Harry Wendelstedt. Greg Olson running in from the Atlanta bullpen, so it looks like Berryhill may be also removed from the ball game, and a little double switch. Wendelstedt indicates that that is the case, so we will have a double switch.
So Bourbon leaves after pitching 1 inning. That is the third last inning and 2/3 here. It's 1 inning of work. Howell comes on. Jay, of course, a veteran pitcher, used to coming into a ball game when there's trouble brewing, as there is right here. We've seen Jay Howell many a time, previously with the LA Dodgers, and several times since he joined the Braves. Howell tonight is making his 35th appearance, all of them in relief. He has no saves. They're using him here strictly as a setup guy. 1 win, 3 losses, and a 3.47 earned run average.
You mentioned Howell, the 4th Braves pitcher of the ball game. Bobby Cox in a little bit of a bind right now because he really would like to keep Kent Merker to fill in Pete Smith's spot in the rotation. He used him the last time and said that if he doesn't need him in the next couple of ball games, that he will use him again this weekend as a starter. But if he has to, then he'll have to figure out another plan. Stanton, who was the closer at the beginning of the year, has struggled recently and has really been replaced by McMichael. Wohlers he likes to use when the game's ahead. So when he gets into a ball game like this, he's getting into a little bit of a bind because he's running short of people. He wants to make moves, but he doesn't have enough people to keep making those moves with.
The new catcher, Greg Olson, flip him in the batting order, meaning that Howell can stay in the ball game because he will bat in Berryhill's spot. He was last to bat in the 6th. And Olson will be the second batter to come up in the bottom half of this inning for Atlanta. Phillies have taken an 8-4 lead, and from Cox's perspective, he wants to keep it at that. So since the Phillies have a couple of base runners here, he wants to make sure that he's got his best possible opportunity of getting Duncan out. Interestingly enough, the last time he made a pitching change, it was to face Duncan, and that didn't work out so well. That was his first pitching change tonight.
Yeah, when he brought Bedrosian into the ball game, Mariano promptly hit a double into left center field. You know, a lot of times during the course of the season, the manager will take a game like this and say, okay, we'll let this one go and, you know, set ourselves up and be in a position to be in good shape for the next ball game. But Bobby Cox and his ball club already 8.5 games behind the San Francisco Giants. Even in games like this where they're down by 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning, he has to keep making moves and trying to find out ways to win ball games because time is running out of him and the gap is getting bigger and bigger.
How about those Giants last night getting that pop up in the infield that dropped, and that triggered a 5-run inning, I think.
Yep. When things are going right, everything goes right.
Duncan 1 for 4, but it was a big one. 2-run double. Down into right field, carrying well. Justice giving chase, makes the play. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Phillies get a run, 2 hits, 2 men left on base. Stretch time, and 8-4 Phillies.
The Phillies look to cook a Canadian goose when they play Montreal Tuesday, August 10th, and Wednesday, August 11th at 7:35, and Thursday, August 12th at 12:35 at a business person special. Then Bonilla, Doc, and the Mets make a house call Friday, August 13th, 7:35, Saturday, August 14th, 7:05, and Sunday, August 15th at 1:35, when kids 14 and under get a free Phillies road jersey. Call 463-1000.
It's Saturday. I'm not gonna mow the lawn. I'll hire him to mow the lawn and paint the garage. No, the garage. I'm dreaming big. With Super 7, I'll buy a car. No, cars. Meet exotic people. Not him. Her. I'll be in the money. Moolah. Saturday. Super 7. If I can dream it, I can win it.
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to right here in Pennsylvania, people are searching for new choices in health care.
The costs are strangling me.
Which inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new personal choice.
Seems like you always have to give something up.
A health plan that gives people the benefits of an HMO.
No one has the right to tell me what doctor I can see.
Without asking them to give up their freedom. Personal choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
Hi, I'm Dick Vermeil with a Blue Cross Blue Shield health tip. True or false? Taking one aspirin every other day may cut your risk of a heart attack. True. Studies have shown that for men over 50, one aspirin every other day can lower your risk of a heart attack by nearly half. Check with your doctor to make sure aspirin is safe for you.
Phillies' new right fielder as we go to the bottom of the 7th is Jim Eisenreich. Phillies now with an 8-4 lead. Braves down at the tail end of their order, but they've got Greg Olson batting in the 9 spot, so the hitters will be Lemke, Olson, and Sanders. Lemke tonight 1 for 2 as he continues to get his hits off Curt Schilling. Lemke now 7 for 14 in his career off Schill. It's amazing to hear Curt Schilling talk about it tonight. Lemke started hitting him in the minor leagues, and he's followed him all the way up here to the big leagues.
And when you got a guy like that, you know who he is, and he knows it also.
Yeah.
There are no secrets about that. And you will try everything. I mean, you will invent pitches. You'll try to do anything you can possibly. You'll change your windup. You'll do anything to try, and it doesn't matter. That particular hitter is going to be right on everything you do.
Back up the middle. You're right. It doesn't matter. Look at that ball kick up water. Another hit for Lemke, a leadoff single. And only the 6th hit for the Braves, but Lemke's got 2 of them.
Well, last time Lemke bounces the ball over Kurt's head. This time shoots it back underneath his leg into center field. We mentioned the rain earlier. Watch the little spray come up off of his ball.
No wonder that's hard to pick up and throw.
Lenny getting down, making sure capture it with both hands.
Greg Olson will bat for the first time, and the Phillies getting David West up and Larry Anderson. Olson hitting .219, 3 homers, 20 runs batted in. He takes a strike. Phillies bullpen active for the first time tonight. Not exactly time to panic. The Phillies lead 8-4. That one gets on through Dalton. He's got no idea where it is. It bounced all the way to the backstop. However, Lemke is content to move up 1. He might have gone to third.
Had the game been a little closer, I think Lemke probably would have gone to third, but you know, with an 8-4 score, he's going to make sure that he does not get thrown out on the bases. His run not all that important. The ball gets through Dutch's legs and ricochets off Harry Wendelstadt's leg. Dutch has no idea where it's at. He's spinning around. Now all of a sudden he spots the ball over against the fence by the Philly dugout and goes and retrieves it.
It's a wild pitch. Braves have their leadoff man at second, nobody out.
You know, catchers normally have a pretty good idea when the ball scoots by him where it's going to be, but what messed Dutch up on that play was it ricocheted off Harry's leg, and then he had no idea where it was.
Olson chases a high pitch. The count on Olson 1-2.
On plays like that, when you know that your catcher is confused and doesn't know where the ball is, your job as a pitcher is to just start pointing to the ball. Eventually, if he can't find it, he's going to look for help, and he's going to look to you, so you start pointing the direction you need him to go in. You also go to try to retrieve it yourself.
Schilling taking a little extra time here, and now Dalton's going to go out and confer with him. The total tickets sold tonight, 46,144. Still listed as a sellout, even though that total is about 3,000 less than last night. Phillies have a 4-run lead, but they still need 9 big outs. Strike 3 call. There's one of them. Olson strikes out, number 6 for Schilling.
Make that 8 big outs. Olson looking for a breaking ball. Schill just comes with the fastball. Bingo, right on the outside corner. No chance for Olson.
Sanders 0 for 3 in the ball game. 2 fly balls to center, and they come back to the mound. Runner at second, 1 out. Base hit for Sanders, and they're going to score Lemke. So it's an 8-5 ball game as Sanders gets a hit and an RBI.
Sanders' first ball hitting, drives the ball just out of the reach of John Kruk. Actually, it was not quite as close as I thought it was. When I watched it the first time, I thought Kruk had a chance to get to that ball, but that ball was lined cleanly into right field. Jim Eisenreich never even had a thought about throwing that ball to home plate. With a 4-run lead, give them the run, get the ball into second base, and keep another guy out of scoring position. Jim
Fregosi coming out, maybe to make a change, and yes, he is. He's going to bring Larry Anderson in this ball game. Schill is not happy about leaving here, not at all. Schill doesn't shaking his head. He doesn't think he should be gone here. And he's unhappy with himself too.
Well, you know who has the final decision in this conversation, and it's not Mr. Schilling.
6 1/3 for Kurt tonight. He leaves and Larry Anderson comes on. Anderson will be trying to get Blauser out, who hasn't done anything tonight, but we've talked so many times about traditionally what a tough out he is for the Phillies. It would be hard to praise Larry Anderson enough for what he's done. As Schilling gets congratulations in the dugout, but he's not in the mood to hear too much of it right now.
He's not really looking for congratulations right now. I think he's more upset with himself and you know, a couple of the pitches that he made this inning, getting balls up to Sanders, allowing him to get the drive the runner in. But you know, if a pitcher wasn't like that, if he wasn't competitive, he wouldn't be out there.
Well, again, talking about Larry Anderson, Teak, you know, the Phillies got him to be the setup man, and he has been the ultimate setup man. He has been sensational.
Well, he and David West have been just a tremendous tandem for the Phillies down in the bullpen. Larry making his 42nd appearance of the year, 3 wins, 1 loss, a very fine 201 earned run average.
Larry making appearances in both games in this series so far. He came in to get 2 outs last night. It was a strange inning because it was a perfect inning in the ball game, but they had Anderson pitch to the first 2 batters, then took him out and brought West in to face the left-handed batting McGriff.
Well, Jim Fregosi was going with the percentages, and you know, when you have a tandem like this, and that was in the 8th inning of the ball game, knowing that you were going to go to Mitch in the 9th inning, you have the luxury of, you know, matching up guys to certain hitters.
You're saying that that would be less likely tonight because we're 1 inning earlier.
Right, because you're in the 7th inning now, and you know, there's a possibility, the way the lineup is set up right now, that you would want Anderson to pitch to Blauser, Gant, and then you would get to West when you get to McGriff, Justice, Pendleton, and then Howell in the pitcher spot, or in Berryhill's spot. We talked earlier about pitchers in ballparks and liking to pitch in ballparks. Well, this is another one that Larry Anderson likes to pitch in his career in Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. An earned run average of 1.57.
Minuscule. Here's Blauser 0 for 3 tonight. Last time up, reached on an error by Duncan, and that got a run home for Atlanta. There's 1 out in the inning, 1 run in, and Sanders at first. 8-5 Phillies.
Mentioned earlier, Deion Sanders is basically Deion Sanders and Otis Nixon, whichever one of them happens to be in the leadoff spot, is the running game for the Atlanta Braves.
But 3 runs down. Is he likely to run here?
Not as likely. And with his type of speed, though, I mean, there's always the possibility, because Anderson with that cut fastball gets a lot of ground balls, potential double play balls. If you can get him moving, you got a better chance of staying out of the double play and keeping an inning going. The Braves needing 3 runs. The downside to that is if he does get thrown out, you can short circuit a big inning.
Yes. Blauser takes a strike. Larry holding the ball, trying to take the spring out of his legs, and there he goes. Pitches outside, no throw. Stolen base number 19 for Sanders.
Well, Bobby Cox elects to go ahead and move Sanders. Dion straight steal, does not look back. It was not a hit and run. That was a straight steal. At this point, Dion does not know that Dutch is not making a throw, so he goes in sliding feet first into second base, but he had a real good jump. And Larry with that big leg kick, Dutch wisely just held on to the ball. He really didn't have a chance to throw Sanders out at second base. There are those who think that Deion Sanders, of all the players in baseball, has the best raw speed.
So Sanders now at second base, 1 out. A count on Blauser of a ball and 2 strikes.
You mentioned Sanders' 19th stolen base of the season. He has been thrown out 7 times, though, so somebody's got him a couple times.
A little bit low. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The improvement in Jeff Blauser as a hitter this year is because he started to use the right side of the field. 260-some lifetime hitter is hitting right around 300 at this point. With Sanders at second base, Duncan has to jockey over and try to hold him close, which opens up a little bit more of that hole on the right side. Mariano with the responsibility of keeping Sanders close at second base. He and Stock are both jockeying back and forth with him. You see how they're pulled together in the middle of the infield. That makes the hole between Duncan and Kruk just a little wider. And Blauser has started hitting the ball that way more often this year. Phillies in the outfield playing Blauser around to right field.
2-2 pitch. Full count on Blauser. Gant waits. 8-5 Phillies. Strike 3. Blauser is gone. Anderson gets a strikeout. 2 outs in the inning.
Larry Anderson, who throws that cut fastball almost exclusively, throws it in a perfect spot down and away. May have been out of the strike zone. Too close for Blauser to take. He tries to check his swing on it. Goes around. Bring on the next guy. So Kurt Schilling, as he watches Deion Sanders still stranded at second base. Hopefully Larry Anderson will be able to leave him there.
Got to get Gant. He's 1 for 2 plus a walk. Ball 1. Gant extended his hitting streak to 12 in a row with that 4th inning single tonight. A little bit low. 2-0 on Gant. Hitting .270 right now. Gant is second in the league in total bases, believe it or not. I don't have to tell you who's number 1, or I shouldn't anyway. It's that B-man from San Francisco, Barry Bonds. That's a heck of a thing, though, to be second to Bonds in any category. I mean, especially something like total bases.
Any category you want to look at, somebody is going to be second to Bonds, because it seems like he's at the top of every one of those lists.
Well, he is atop quite a few of them, no doubt. Home runs with 32, RBIs with 83, total bases 253. Slugging percentage 703. Three and 1.
Andy trying to change the baseballs, trying to find one that feels good to him. So far, he's gone through 2. Third time's a charm. Three ball, 1 strike count on Gant.
This inning's been a crisis right from the get-go because Lemke let it off with a single. Hop up, foul out of play. The count is now full. So each team has added the run here in the 7th inning so far, and the Phillies are ahead at this point 8-5. Bobby Cox has seen his team win a lot of ball games. They've won 9 of their last 11 and 3 of their last 4, but they've not been able to pick up anything on the Giants, and that's frustrating. Because you always say, well, just worry about yourself. The other things will take care of themselves, but they aren't taking care of themselves so far. And then that just turns and puts extra pressure on you.
The Braves almost to the point where they feel like they have to win to stay even.
Struck him out. Gant is gone, and the Braves have all been retired on strikes in the inning. They get a run. 2 hits, 1 man left on base. It's 8-5 Phillies.
Do Texaco food marts really have everything?
Oh, they have gum, cheese, candy.
Many reasons I come to Texaco.
Chips, cereals, nice people.
There are many, 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 many reasons.
You want it, they got it. If they don't have it, you don't need it.
And that candy that pulls apart like that.
Did I skip something?
Visit your Texaco station and food mart for unbeatable System 3 gasoline.
Pop comes here for System 3, and I come here for Pop. Right, Mom?
And just about everything else.
I'd recommend it to anybody. And I would, too.
What is a mountain man's natural environment? Let's explore. A mountain man enjoys peaceful surroundings. A place where gentle winds blow. And the beauty of nature is all about. Only here does the mountain man find true happiness with a smooth bush beer or an easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find out how the true mountain man can make any environment a more natural one.
For the price of basic transportation, the Mitsubishi Eclipse will take you way beyond basic. Now, for as little as $169 a month and $700 down, you too can drive away in a new Eclipse.
Escape basic transportation. Test drive an Eclipse at your 3-state Mitsubishi Motors dealer.
Phillies baseball on Sports Channel brought to you by Busch Beer. Phillies fans, remember, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you enjoy the game. So always reach for smooth Busch Beer or easy drinking Busch Light. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery, a participating advertiser in Phillies baseball. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvania. Phillies up by 3 runs, and they come to the plate here in the 8th inning. It's a 2-inning ball game now. Phillies are going to bat Kruk, Hollins, and Dalton in the inning. Here's a ball game that had the field covered prior to the game. Hard rain here. Never thought this ball game would start on time, and it did, all but by about 2 minutes. And even though we've had some rain in the contest, play was never stopped, and the conditions here are just about perfect right now. Kruk is 1 for 3, plus he was walked intentionally last time. Facing Jay Howell. What a rip. A little topper towards second base. Lemke charges. Kruk is out, 1 down. That'll get Dave Hollins to the plate, and Dave will probably leave the ball game after this at bat. That's been the pattern lately, with Kim Batiste coming in to play defense in late inning stages.
And Jim Fregosi has pretty much been following the same patterns. Chamberlain comes out late in the ballgame for Eisenreich, and Hollins has been coming out almost exclusively every game for Batiste. You see Kim in the dugout stretching and getting ready.
Hollins tonight, 2 hits. He's 2 out of 3. Plus he was on base another time when he was hit by a pitch. He scored 2 of the Phillies' runs. Hollins batting .279. Ground ball and another play for Lemke. 2 outs. Well, Jay Howell has retired all 3 hitters he's faced since entering the ball game. Now goes against Darren Dalton. Dutch was on base 3 straight times with a walk, a 2-run double, on a single. Last time up he struck out. McGriff got a crazy hop, but Freddie makes the play, and down go the Phillies here in the 8th. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Braves come up in the bottom half of the 8th inning. It is 8-5 Phillies.
Major League Baseball Home Video presents baseball's funniest bloopers. Hey fans, you'll be bowled over by this highly revealing romp. Then we'll sprinkle in some bite-sized fun, just enough to tickle your funny bone. Now, if you want to sink your teeth into baseball's funniest bloopers, just call this number and order. Baseball's funniest bloopers is 35 minutes of laughter and a whole lot of Major League mess-ups. So pick one up today. If you're a rookie squirt, ask for help. Ouch! If you're a Major League squirt, grab a pen and paper. Any paper. To order for just $19.95 plus $4 shipping, send check or money order to this address. Or use your credit card and call 1-800-255-9200. That's 1-800-255-9200.
Hazy sunshine this afternoon. High close to yesterday's 96 downtown.
It's a really good-looking Phillies road jersey, free for kids 14 and under, compliments of Gatorade, when the Phillies play the Mets Sunday, August 15th at 1:35. Get a free new jersey when the Phillies play New York. Call 463-1000.
Well, the Phillies are showing this is going to be a season to remember, and one of the best ways to remember it is to get your own copy of the '93 Phillies yearbook, the 45th annual edition. It's available now, a colorful book containing 72 pages of great photos, statistics, and interesting articles about these Phillies. You can get yours by sending a check or money order for $8, includes the mailing costs, to Phillies Yearbook, Box 7575, Philadelphia 19101. Be sure to include a return address and allow 2 weeks for a delivery. Kim Batiste takes over at third base for the Phils. And on the mound for the Phillies now is going to be David West. They'll flip in the batting order. Phillies are ahead 8-5, bottom of the 8th inning. McGriff to lead it off. Fire Dog 1 for 3 tonight. Ex-Crime Dog. David West came in the ball game last night specifically to face McGriff and got him to ground out to first. Left center field, base hit. Incaviglia makes a diving stop of it, but it's a leadoff single for McGriff. Hit number 8 for Atlanta. That's the second inning in a row they've had their leadoff man aboard. They're not going to go quietly. Looks like Inky's limping just a bit.
Yeah, McGriff hits his ball into left center field. Inky on the run, makes the dive, catches the ball on the short hop, but I'll tell you what, if he tried to retreat, he'd have never got to that ball. So he does a nice job of cutting that ball off, keeping McGriff at first base. We'll get a better look at it here to see what happened to him. Yeah, he slams that left knee into the turf, and we mentioned it's like AstroTurf. Well, he bounced that one off of there pretty good. That knee might be a little bit sore tomorrow. I'm sure go see Jeff Cooper for a little ice after the game for that one.
Inside on Justice, ball one. Justice has struck out, hit a 3-run homer and single. Braves have bullpen action. Stanton is up.
And Mark Wohlers.
Ball 2, 2-0. Well, these teams have really battled each other in this series. They keep coming back and coming back. There have not been many 1, 2, 3 innings.
Well, they have battled each other all year long.
Phillies are going to get some bullpen action now. Yeah, you'd have to say in all honesty that the Phillies-Braves games have been better games than the Phillies-Giants game.
Oh, no doubt, especially if you're a Phillies fan. The Phillies-Giants game stunk as far as being a Phillies fan. Roger Mason getting up and starting to throw in the bullpen.
So maybe after leaving town, the Phillies should turn into Braves fans. Huh? That's a ball 4, and the first 2 Braves have reached. So this is not what you want, as the Braves now get the tying run to the plate. Jim Fregosi will not be making a move. We understand the Phillies are operating without Johnny Padres tonight. Padres has been sent to a local hospital for observation. Trainer Jeff Cooper did not give any indication of what might be troubling John, and that's why Jim's been making the visits to the mound tonight.
Very brief, concise meeting. The mound.
That's his Padres imitation, right?
Yeah, that's the old come on, big guy, throw the ball over the plate, challenge him meeting. You got good stuff, make him hit it.
Pendleton well, we've seen it twice tonight, and what you worry about is the 3-run home run. It's 8-5 Phillies.
Yeah, it's not always the home run that hurts you. It's the incidents before the home run that can cause the problems.
Pendleton with a little better average from this side of the plate than from the left side. That one's in for a strike. Pendleton 270 right-handed, 255 left-handed. 6 of his 8 homers from the left side. Getting far more at bats from the left side, of course. Foul ball. Quickly ahead of Pendleton, 0-2.
West walked Justice on 4 straight fastballs. Comes back and starts Pendleton now with 2 straight breaking balls.
Francisco Cabrera comes out to the on-deck circle to bat for Jay Howell. Foul back. Bobby Cox has managed like this game is extremely important, and it is. Jammed him out of play. Pendleton up there with a 0-2 count, fighting off pitches. It's been very muggy here in Atlanta. Usually is this time of the year. The Phillies, as I mentioned earlier, are blessed by the fact that the temperatures have not been out of the 70s for these 2 ball games, but it is humid.
Yeah, it's been muggy in the 70s rather than muggy in the 90s.
Breaking ball for a called 3rd strike. Pendleton is gone. 1 out.
David West starts off Pendleton with a couple breaking balls, gets ahead, throws him a couple fastballs that he fouls off, comes back with a beauty. Loops it right over the outside part of the plate. Throws Pendleton, had no chance.
Big hand for Cabrera. He delivered a pinch hit last night. He's been a good pinch hitter. He's 9 for 39, including a pinch home run. Overall batting .286 with 4 homers and 11 runs batted in. Way inside, ball one on Francisco. It was game 7 of the league championship series last year in the 9th inning when he got that 2-out single off Stan Belinda, knocking in both David Justice and Sid Bream and sending Atlanta on to the World Series, probably the biggest hit of his career.
And talk about a guy that likes the fastball. Takes one right there. Surprising. Cabrera very seldom will take a fastball, and looks like he's a little upset with himself. Got a fastball up in the strike zone. Did not offer.
At Veterans Stadium this year, he hit an upper deck left field home run off Danny Jackson. Ooh, that just missed. 2-1. He was only the 38th player to hit one up there. Incaviglia recently became the 39th. Swing and a miss by Francisco. Two innings in a row, the Phillies have been in trouble right from the outset. As the leadoff hitter got on, it was Lemke last inning, and he scored. This inning it was McGriff. He's still down at second base. Jammed him. Out of play. Cabrera is fairly tough to strike out. He's fanned only 15 times in 70 at bats. Strike 3 called. He's unhappy. And Bobby Cox is not too pleased as well. What a job by West. 2 outs.
After a leadoff single to McGriff, walk on 4 pitches to Justice, and a visit from Jim Fregosi, David West comes back and strikes out Pendleton, and now Cabrera looking. Borderline got the call. No agreement from that standpoint.
And now here's Lemke. We watched him get 2 hits from the other side off Schilling, bouncing, and a nice catch by Dalton. But Lemke is batting over 100 points higher from this side. He's .347 right-handed as opposed to .236 left-handed. But tonight he went 2 out of 3 off Schilling. Two and 0. Lemke out of Utica, New York. Platooned here for a while with Treadway until last year. Takes a strike. He's a tough hitter, as he proved in postseason play when he was slinging hits here, there, and everywhere.
Lemke is just one of those good, solid, all-around ball players. Doesn't do anything flashy, but very consistent with all phases of his game, defense and offense.
Time called. First 2 guys got on. West has recovered by striking out the next 2. Ground ball, third base, foul ball. Batiste played it, stepped on the bag, but the foul sign was rung up immediately by Vanover.
No hesitation at all on Vanover's part. Called the ball foul immediately. It's his call on a ball that passes the bag. If a ball is in front of the bag, it's home plate umpire Harry Wendelstadt's call. Right here, Batiste. Now, it doesn't matter where his glove is at when he catches the ball. What matters is where the ball was at when it crosses over the bag. Vanover says the ball was in foul territory. Getting a little bit of a debate, I believe, from the Philly dugout, but
of course,
the judgment will stand.
Punch shot, base hit. Here comes McGriff. He's going to score. A single for Lemke, and it's an 8-6 game. Lemke's third hit of the night. So the Braves don't think they're out of it just yet.
We talked about Lemke being an all-around solid player. 2 strikes on him. West makes a good pitch on the outside part of the plate. Lemke catches it just on the end of the bat. John Kruk, guarding the line at first base, had no chance to make that play and just slapped it through that hole into right field. Jim Eisenreich retrieves it, returns it to the infield quickly, so the Braves have runners now at first and second with 2 outs.
They are the tying runs. Greg Olson, the batter, hitting for just the second time, struck out first time, and West gets it over. Now Mason is up in the bullpen, but Jim Fregosi elects to allow West to pitch to Olson.
And a lot of that has to do with the man on deck, Deion Sanders,
right,
a left-handed hitter.
Olson hit a 3-run, excuse me, not a 3-run home run, but Olson hit a home run here last night. It was a 2-run homer, but only his 3rd of the year. So even though you respect his power, he's not likely to hit the long ball. Well, these Braves fans have stayed with this one here tonight. They've seen their team down by as many as 4 this evening. They've cut that in half. Breaking ball for a strike. He backdoored it. 1-2. West started it away and got it back over the corner. Hit a ton, deep left field. Olson hits a 3-run home run, and the Braves lead 9-8. With 2 home runs coming into the series, has 2 in the series, and this one hurts.
After throwing the breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, West tries to get this ball on the inside part, doesn't get it all the way in. Olson puts the big part of the bat on and hits it way out of here, up into the seats in left field.
Bobby Cox. Hey, how about this? Batter is Sanders. Ball 2, 2-0 on Sanders. He singled in a run last inning. And the Braves are ahead 9-8. Two balls and a strike. Now Sanders is going to talk it over with Jimmy Williams here. 2 3-run home runs for the Braves, Justice and Olson. We're in the bottom of the 8th. That's a called strike. Braves are getting McMichael ready to pitch to the Phillies in the 9th inning. Sanders hits a topper toward Duncan. And the inning is over, but major damage has been done. Major damage indeed, as the Braves come along and get 4 runs in the inning, the 3-run homer by Olson, and they take a 9-8 lead into the bottom half, or the top of the 9th.
rich with traditions, Sherwin-Williams has created one of its own by preserving and protecting the national shrines of our national pastime. This is the paint of the pros, and it's the choice of millions of fans at home. And while your town may not have a big league ballpark in it, it does have a big league paint store. The pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
You've seen it before. The ones who run with the herd, and the one who always seems to run alone. You don't see him often enough, though.
It's like having a Phillies ticket window come right to your home. Call 463-1000 and reserve your tickets in advance. No rushing, no waiting, no hassle. 463-1000. It's like having a Phillies ticket window right in your home.
Now we have defensive changes for the Braves as we go to the ninth. Otis Nixon takes over for Sanders in center field. Rafael Belliard takes over at shortstop for Blauser. And the new pitcher is the right-hander Greg McMichael. Quite a success story. He made the club as a non-roster player in spring training. And he really was given no chance at all when they went to camp. But here he is, and he is the closer at this point. 3 saves for him on the year. He's just taken over recently. He's 1-3 at 2.43 earned run average for McMichael.
Mike Stanton had been the closer, but he's hit a spell right now where he just can't get anybody out. So McMichael has moved into that closer role. Throws 2 different fastballs, a 4-seam riding fastball, a sinking fastball, an in-between slider, curve, slurve type of breaking ball, and then his changeup, when he throws it to a right-handed hitter, will move away, and also he has another one that he throws to a left-handed hitter that will move away. So 2 varieties of changeups also.
McMichael, 26 years of age, from Knoxville, Tennessee. He has allowed only 3 earned runs in his last 23 innings. That's over 20 ball games. He leads the bullpen in innings pitched and in strikeouts. Incaviglia with a 3-run homer for the Phillies tonight, and an and a run-scoring double. A double following which he scored a run. He's 2 out of 4. 9-8, the Braves lead. Base hit for Incaviglia, and the Phillies want to strike right back. They get the tying run on base on Incaviglia's 3rd hit of the ball game. Jim Eisenreich will be batting for the first time. Here's Eisenreich hitting at .333. Conference at the mound before they face him. You don't bunt for a tie on the road, do you?
Nope.
Okay.
Jim Fragosi's ball club all year long has shown the ability to rebound. Keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. Doesn't mean that you're going to win all these ball games, but you will never see a Philly ball club just roll over and die. The club is, real close, has had a lot of camaraderie on the ball club and a lot of stick-to-itiveness even in some tough times.
McMichael throws to first. Inky practically standing on the base. Again, Eisenreich at .333 with 3 homers, 37 runs batted in. Stocker on deck. Ball 1. It's a 1-run ball game in the 9th. Well, what happened to our prediction that this was going to be a low-scoring game? We had Glavine and Schilling tonight. We thought this was going to be a 1-run ball game early, not a low-scoring game. Powell back out of play, and the managers did too, because Bobby Cox issued an intentional pass to Stocker as early as the 7th inning tonight, or the 2nd inning tonight.
That's why this game is such a wonderful game. You just never know what's going to happen. I think everybody in the ballpark, including Bobby Cox, Jim Fregosi, both of us thought it would be a low-scoring game with the pitching matchup and the way the game started out. Just hasn't turned out to be that way.
Eisenreich hits it hard, but it might be 2. It is 2. Lemke to Belliard to McGriff for a double play.
We talked about the hard sinker that McMichael throws. He throws one down and away right here to Eisenreich. Hits it sharply, but right to Lemke. The rest is automatic.
Some of them go through, and some of them turn into double play balls. Here's Stocker. A 9-game hitting streak for Stock. He's 1 for 3 tonight, plus that intentional walk that we referred to. He drove in a run, his 7th. Stocker batting .403. Strike.
If Kevin Stocker can keep this alive, Milt Thompson has moved into the on-deck circle for the Phillies. He would bat next.
Strike 2. That would be in Batiste's spot. Crowd on its feet here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. In the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Stocker. Stocker loops it back of the infield. It's a base hit. And the inning stays alive as Stocker gets his 2nd hit of the ball game. So Thompson will get a chance to bat now. Milt will pinch hit for Batiste. Milt, former member of this ball club.
Phillies get a leadoff single, hit into a sharp double play. Kevin Stocker keeps the inning alive. Good pitch by McMichael. Changeup down and away. Stocker goes out and just puts the end of the bat on, loops it into short center field. Otis Nixon, who just came in for Deion Sanders, had no chance to get to that ball. Returns it to the infield, so the Phillies still alive, and Milt Thompson the hitter.
Milt carries a .252 batting average, 4 homers, 38 RBIs. He's 5 out of 16 as a pinch hitter. Low, ball 1 on Milt.
Interesting. Normally late in the game, especially with 2 outs and a man on first, you will guard the lines, try to knock down a double to keep the winning or the tying run from scoring from first base.
Oh, ow. Knocked his helmet off, T.
Milt fouls that ball off the plate and it comes up and takes the helmet off top of his head. But you would normally guard the lines because a double can score the runner from first base. Terry Pendleton at third base not guarding the line, playing well off of it. McGriff, of course, on the line at first base because he's holding Stocker, but a lot of room down there. If Milt can slash one in that corner, get it bounce around, possibility of Stocker scoring from first base.
The 1-1 pitch. It's high, 2-1. Thompson on the ground, but there is Lemke. And the Braves have recovered to win this one. A game the Phillies once led by 4 winds up in Atlanta's win column by a 9-8 score. In the 9th inning for the Phillies, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left on base. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel.